All right, let's go. We are live. Make sure. Yeah, we are live. So what's good, YouTube? GamerZero coming at you with some Shadowrun Hong Kong Extended Edition again. We're gonna go ahead and continue where we left off yesterday. I just ate food right now. I had a plate of spaghetti, so if I'm burping and stuff, you already know why. All right, let's go. A chartered bus arrives from you. Arrives. Oh man, I am tripping. A chartered bus carries you from Kai Tak to a mid-range hotel in Suan Wan. All around you, the happy chatter of your fellow passengers fills your ears. You hear tech speak in a variety of languages and dialects. Talk about new lines of drones and decks, arguments over innovations in data jack technology, and baseless speculation about the next season of Urban Brawl. Your guest badge, a glossy slip of laminated paper emblazoned with a flashy logo, hangs on a lanyard around your neck. Your ticket into the convention hall, and the only disguise that you should need. The bus drops you in front of the Harbor Spires Hotel, and you promptly circle around back to find a service entrance. Isobel should be waiting for you inside. Well, hold on. All right, I'm back. The service entrance to the Harbor Spires Hotel looks like any other. Scuffed walls coated in chip paint, a floor of well worn hardwood, a time card reader hanging from the wall at a slight tilt. Wait, what the hell? Sorry about that. At a slight tilt. Nothing about the dingy, utilitarian confines of the room that you're in hints at the elegance and fine decor of the hotel beyond. It smells like clams in here. She wrinkles her nose, sniffing. Clams and something else. Tequila, maybe? Some kind of sour liquor. It's hard to tell. Your earpiece crackles to life. Isobel, calling from the woman's lavatory. Zero. A burst of static fills your ear, obliterating Isobel's voice. A second later, she cuts back in. You in position? I'm here, yeah. You're kind of breaking up, though. Yeah, I know. More white noise. Next in here is crap. The comms keep cutting out. This doesn't bode well. Are you going to be giving us instructions over the comm? Yeah, hang on a static. Now, try to boost our signal strength. The sound cuts out entirely for a good 5 seconds. When Isobel's voice comes back, it's half again as loud as it was before. There, that's better. What a pain in the ass this is. There's way too much interference coming from the show floor. We aren't going to be able to rely on our comlinks for this. I'll find us a workaround. I hope that you do it fast. This entire plan hinges on our being able to communicate. Like I said, I'll find a workaround. For now, let's concentrate on the task at hand. The catering staff should all be in the kitchen, hauling trays of steamed clams and aperitifs out to the convention hall floor. Called it. Isobel plows ahead, ignoring the interruption. I'm gonna need you to find a way to get me one of their uniforms. One that will fit someone my size. Find a dwarf-sized caterer uniform. Check. I'm on it. Good. Oh, and Zero, we aren't going loud yet, got it? Whatever you do, don't start shooting. We can't afford to send Rhombus running before we can get him cornered. Right. No shooting until we have Rhombus. Got it. This panel controls simple building maintenance and safety features. While the panel's admin level user interface has been locked away behind a biometric fingerprint reader, a skilled decker could easily bypass such a restriction. View archive work manifest logs. Huang, millions. The damn sprinklers went off again. The entire kitchen was flooded, and Chef Bun quit. We're going to have to go with third-party caterers for the big event this weekend, because we sure as hell can't steam a few thousand clams without any kitchen staff. The Harbor Spire's kitchen are a whirlwind of activity. Attractive 20-somethings in white catering uniforms dash in and out of their rooms, their arms laden with heaping trays of steaming shellfish. One man stands still amidst the chaos, the eye of the storm. His white coat is at least half again whiter than those of his subordinates, and his collar starched as stiff as a board. The floor manager notices you, and his eyes narrow. He stalks towards you, practically frothing at the mouth. You can't help but notice the embroidered corporate logo on his lapel. Pastry magic and more. Fine catering. The image is completed by a stylized rendering of what appears to be a frolicking kitten standing astride a pair of shooting stars. You, what are you doing in my kitchen? He glances at your chest, sees the visitor badge hanging from the lanyard that Isobel gave you dangling around your neck. Convention goers are not allowed. Beyond the show floor. Let's see here. What could we? I'm sorry. I must have gotten turned around. Do you know where the Shiwase kiosk is? No, I don't know where your damn kiosk is. Go ask on the show floor. I really like your uniform. Could I buy one for my daughter? He stares at you. You want to buy one of our uniforms? Yeah, an extra small one, if you've got it. I think that she'd love that kitten logo. His mouth tightens. It isn't a kitten. It's supposed to be a celestial tiger. But that's a kitten, though. Just look at its little paws. He hangs his head low, color creeping into his cheeks. Yeah, I know. I keep telling our graphic designer, but he never listens. You want a uniform? 500 yen. Pay up or get out. Done deal. He jerks his head toward a room in the corner of the room. Toward a door in the corner of the room. It's in the ready room over there. The kitchen manager clicks a button on his wrist and the door slides open. He smiles proudly. Remote systems to help servers with full hands. That's a pretty sweet piece of gear there. It is actually. The hotel doesn't just hand these things out, you know. Most other catering companies would never get their hands on one. Now grab your uniform and get out of my hair, all right? We're busy here. All right, so we got ISO's Bell's uniform. All right, she's in there. You enter the women's restroom to find Isobel waiting impatiently for you. Her guest badge dangles from its lanyard at a canted angle, and the clump ropes of her hair look frazzled. At the sight of you, she steps forward. You're here. Good. I was getting tired of hanging out in the ladies' room. You have the uniform? There you go. She eyes the embroidery of the logo, nodding. Good, good. This will work. Alright, I'm gonna change into this thing and hightail it to the employees only door on the far side of the convention hall. They'll let me in, even without a badge. They'll just figure that some rich guy wants a drink. Where's the VIP area? On the other side of the convention floor. I'll have to cross the show floor to do it, but that should be safe enough. Nobody pays attention to the catering staff at these things. Gobbet perks up. I do. She scowls. Nobody who isn't preoccupied with stuffing her face pays attention to the catering staff. She nods sagely. That is fair. So I'll make my way across, pass through the door, and take the elevator up to the admin wing on the 6th floor. All that you need to do is take your position and wait for my instructions without raising an alarm. Pretty simple stuff. Should be foolproof, assuming that you don't screw anything up. Do you have any questions? Have you figured out what you're going to do about that spotty comlink connection? Yes, there's a demo kiosk near the VIP entrance. It's running some new Matrix avatar editing suite, or something like that. The software is called Perfect Persona. When I get to the admin area, I'm going to patch myself into the Perfect Persona console, and we're going to communicate through that. It isn't a perfect solution, but it beats having to deal with a dropped connection. Just be sure to grab the kiosk when you're in position. Don't let anyone else get to it. What should I do between when you leave and when you get in position? Walk the show floor, mingle, try to look like you belong here. Just try not to say or do anything that'll stand out in a bad way. You're supposed to be a hot new decker in town. Try to act the part. What am I supposed to do on the show floor again? Wait by the VIP area door. When I identify Rhombus, you'll apprehend him and tell him that he's the lucky winner of a complimentary VIP pass upgrade. You'll escort him through the VIP doors into a room that'll have empty and waiting. Then we'll all get the software from him together, beat him up, and stash him in the closet. No more questions. Let's hit it. Look at Isobel. This dwarf doesn't have any obvious headwear, but his hands are lined with artfully designed induction pads. He looks up from his place in the noodle line and gives you a nod. Line starts back there. He gestures towards the back of the line. Better take your place now if you want to get in on this. The food court gets busy around this time of day. Excuse me. Oh, yo, what is good, Ghost Joker? I wanted to compliment you on your cyber hands. That's nice work. Thanks. They're custom. He lifts his right hand to the light. The honeycomb structure of the induction pad's circuitry glints under the smooth plastic of its surface. It's surprisingly hard to find induction pads that aren't hidden under synthetic skin. They're a work of art. Who designed them for you? I know a guy out Neo Tokyo Way. Works at one of Renraku's Chiba clinics. I got him to make the things for me. Cost an arm and a leg, or both arms and no legs if you want to get technical about it. But it was worth it. It's a standard 3-day pass hanging on a lanyard embroidered with the Shiawase logo. The name on the badge is Grimson. What's worth ordering from the vending machines? He chuckles. Nothing. But getting a bowl from the noodle extruder is a DECCON tradition. You just do it, whether you want to or not. But isn't the show catered? Why even bother with the vending machines? Tradition, like I said. The convention is under new management this year, and they're trying to go all upscale on us. We're trying to show that we don't need all that. Give me a cheap bowl of extruded noodles, and I'm a happy man. I don't need an underpaid teenager in a clown suit to bring me clams and call me sir. Me, I dump the clams into the noodles. Or wait, this is better. I dump the clams into the vending machine. It has to have an intake hopper somewhere, right? His eyes narrow. Why? Because then it could make clam noodles, shellfish in pasta form. That would be amazing, right? They'd go with everything. The dwarf turns to glare at you. Keep her away from the machine. Gotta run. Good talking to you. He turns back toward the noodle extruder. Yeah, you too. A hot noodle dispenser, complete with extruder settings for ramen, ramen. Oh, damn, that appeared way too fast. It's like Juxian or something. I couldn't read it all. It's okay. The food here is always dreck. Why do we keep buying it? Because eating this is better than waiting in line to get back into the con. That is true. That is true. I've been to a convention and going to get food outside of it, it does suck trying to get back in. A display devoted to a third-party cooling system for terminals and cyberdecks. Of course this year's model will feature our new lightning wire jack technology. Does that mean it won't be compatible with older jack interfaces? Unfortunately, we couldn't bring you the ultimate data jack uplink speeds without redesigning the interface. You will have to update your data jack to take advantage of these exciting new features, but I have these vouchers to help you with that. An elderly Decker with a nickel-plated data jack turns to face you, smiling. Ain't this a hell of a thing? Lovely show, lovely show. He nods eagerly, rubbing his hands. Lots and lots of shiny toys. Extend your hand, Zero, and you are... He grabs your proffered hand and shakes it vigorously. Call me Turtle. Been going to DECCON for damn near 20 years now. It's never looked half as nice as it does now. Yeah, this is pretty swank. This is pretty swank for a computer convention. When did they start catering these things? This is the first year they done it. Wasn't nobody handing out bowls of clams back in 36, I'll tell you that much. Of course, they still had that automated food court over yonder, and people are still lining up for it. Suppose I can't blame them. It's a DECCON tradition. Are you here to see anything in specific? Got my eyes on a couple of things this year. I'm going to check out the Fairlight booth, of course. Poochie's doing some interesting things with miniaturization. He shakes his head ruefully. You know, when I was just getting started, I would have taken an entire warehouse full of machines to match the computing power of the PDA on your wrist. No, scratch that. They wouldn't even come close. Technology's come a long way. Sure has. He shakes his head, grinning. Sure has. Anyway, I've taken plenty of your time already. I'm sure that you got exhibits to see, unless you wanted something else. I gotta keep moving, Turtle. Enjoy the show. He waves to you. Bye, then. Newest iteration of Shiwase's sculpted, blah, blah, blah. I couldn't read, dude. The text is going by. I gotta change that. Let me see if I can change that. Because that shit is going by way too fast for me to read. Options. Text speed. Slow. What's going on slow? Your comlink crackles to life with an ear-splitting hiss. Isobel. Okay, I've jacked into the admin static. Emittive, but I can work with it. Are you in position yet? No, not yet. To the waiting position near the VIP entry. Your ears fill with a shrill electronic whine. And use the kiosk. Remember, perfect persona. Use the perfect persona kiosk to talk to you. Copy that. While you're getting there, I'll start working on getting you VIP access and locating... The line goes dead. Isobel, can you hear me? There is no response. If you want to look around the show floor anymore, we should probably do it before we hit up that kiosk. I know Iz. As soon as we call her back, she's gonna want to be all hyper focused on the job. No more time to socialize or line up for the noodle extruder. We'll look around a bit more before we hit the kiosk. A working model of Fuji's new Cyber 7 Slim, a retooled Cyber 7 with a thinner form factor and a burnished aluminum case. Yeah, see, that's way better. That shit was popping out way too fast. Wait, what is this text bubble here? I guess it's the glitch. Ain't nobody talked to right there. The orc behind the counter looks up from his sales sheets. He wearily recites what sounds like a rehearsed welcome. Welcome to Mr. Lin's Big Time Data Shack. Special show prices for this event only. He waves a hand over at the booth. Feel free to browse. Sure. See what he got. He probably got a bunch of damn. Okay, I guess that the Fuji Virtuax actually got bested by this Novatech Slimcase 10. This used to be the best cyber deck in the game, or in Shadowrun, or one of, like, I guess one of them. See, outfits, he's got a bunch of stuff for military vest. Porter West with pockets for all your tools. Cargo carrier. Yeah, these are not for me. These are no. ESPs, programs, don't need any of these because I am not a decker. These deckers look different from many of the others on the show floor. As you approach, you can see the quiet confidence in their postures and the steel in their eyes. Unlike their peers, these are professionals, Shadowrunners. The most vocal of the three, a female orc with an obvious cyber eye, addresses you. Maybe you could help settle this. My colleagues and I have a difference of opinion on the relative merits of mid-range cyber decks. Would you agree that the Fuji Virtuax is the best mid-range deck in its class? You always do this, hard on. You word your questions to lead strangers into giving the answers that you prefer. Now, the community consensus is that the Virtuax is just an overpriced rehash of the Cyber 6 in a nicer looking case. Oh, shut up, Bierce. Her voice is surprisingly deep and brassy. You're doing the same thing. Besides, everyone knows that Fuji is going down the tubes. Villiers is pulling assets out of the company and transferring them to his other holdings as fast as he can get away with it. So if Fuji is collapsing in on itself and Fairlight doesn't do mid-range machines, then Allegiance is probably primed to. The orc sighs. Nova Hot here is Allegiance's #1 superfan, in case you couldn't tell. Never mind the fact that their only current products, the Alpha, is woefully lackluster next to the competition. We've been going around and around on this for hours. So what do you think? Which deck is going to be best in class at mid-range price point in 57? I don't do a lot of research about store-bought decks. I prefer to build my own. They stare at you. A long moment passes. Finally, Bierce begins to snicker. That's funny. You're a DIYer, huh? So you're telling me that you can cobble together a better deck than a Fuji or hell, an Allegiance by yourself? I didn't say better. I said that I build my own decks. I don't have a stake in corporate pissing machines. I can respect that, I guess. But if you ever want to be competitive, you're going to have to get past your whole home-built cyberdeck phase. How are you enjoying the con so far? He shrugs. It's what it always is. Bad food, a lot of antisocial people, and overpriced vendor kiosks. By the end of the weekend, I'm probably going to have measles or the flu, or the flu. To be perfectly honest, I don't even remember why we all fly out here every year. Bierce, we come out here because you start getting excited about the show months in advance every year. You left me 15 voice messages to make sure that I remembered to book the hotel room. That's because I remember what happened in 52. I do enough sleeping on the street back home. I don't need to do it when I'm on vacation, too. How many times do I have to apologize for that? I'll let you know when you can stop. Where are you from? Macau. I've got a house in Indonesia. Spend most of my time in Seattle, though. I'm from Phnom Penh, but do a lot of work out here in HK. I gotta go. Right, she waves. See you around the show floor. Yeah. Judging by the patches sewn onto his bomber jacket, this elf is from the NAN, Council Island to be specific. A forested chunk of rock in the middle of Lake Washington that was called Mercer Island until the Native American nations, NAN, reclaimed it. He doesn't look Amerindian, though. If anything, he looks Chinese in descent, though his mask makes it hard to tell for sure. He turns to face you at your approach. His features are mostly hidden, but you see that he's sporting a high steel collar and spiky hair. His cheeks are high boned and hollow. He eyes you nervously. Hey, you want something from me? What's up? Just wanted to get to know my fellow congoers. You from Council Island? Yeah, what gave me away? He makes a point of showing off his jacket. The tribal insignias look strangely out of place here on the DECCON floor. You from Seattle? Redmond Barrens, actually. No, Drek, wow. That place is fraggin' intense, chummer. The Seattle shadow slang sounds incredibly awkward when delivered in Cantonese, but he doesn't seem to notice. Council Island is non-territory, and you don't look Amerindian. What's your deal? I'm not Amerindian. I do live on Council Island, though. My dad is a diplomat from Tirnanog. We live on the island, actually. They treat us like kings there. Really? Yeah, the Salashid Council enjoys good relations with my country and the Tir Tarngar. Magical pride and all that. We share a connection with the land. All that bullshit. So me and my family can get away with pretty much anything. He gives you a conspiratorial wink. It's a pretty great life. Is there anything in specific that you're here to see? Yeah, I'm here to check out the 57 Fuchi cyber decks. My 55 Cyber 7 is barely cutting it these days. I want to see what they're coming out with next year, or I'm coming out with next year. And I've heard that they have a demo station. So tell me, what's your favorite new ESP for incursion operations? I like Blasthammer personally. Heard of it? It's open source, developed by the Southeast Asian decking community. Does a number on blocker ice. Blasthammer, I've never heard of it. Excuse me, I had to burp. He snickers to himself. Really? It's only, the most popular freeware attack ESP in Southeast Asia. He's practically shouting. His face is lit up with maniacal glee. Learn something new every day, I guess. Yeah, you said it. You better get with the program if you want to survive out here. He leers at you, his expression all smugness and superiority. I mean, I'm just saying. I gotta go. Sorry. Yeah, see ya. A pot-bellied troll with 2 days worth of mangy stubble smiles and turns to face you. The chrome of his data jack shimmers wetly in the light, but his cyberdeck is conspicuously absent. Hey, what's going on? His badge hangs low on his lanyard. You catch a glimpse of his decking handle, Headspace. It's strange to see someone at DECCON without a cyberdeck. He snickers. I could say the same about you. Where's your deck, man? Don't have one. I'm here to cover the event for the Shadowland BBS. His eyes go wide. Really? Hey, that's pretty whiz. Are you interviewing people? Because I can tell you all about the new hotness in decking technology. No thanks. He taps his temple with a thick fingernail. I'm talking about what I've got up here. The cranial cyber deck. It's the perfect fusion of next level deck and bleeding edge headwear. He continues without waiting for a response. It's the apex of modern decking technology. Miniaturized, compact, easy to sneak into the most sensitive of locations. I don't need to lug a great big external deck around with me anymore. It's a night and day difference between this and my old Fairlight Excalibur. Friend, night and day. How are you enjoying the con? It's great, I gotta tell you. I've gotten to tell a lot of people about my new deck. You know, spreading the word, educating folks. It feels good to save my fellow deckers from wasting their money on old external decks. I guess you could call me a cranial deck evangelist. He nods his head eagerly, desperation in his eyes. Well, well, you're doing good work. You've me on one already. Validation washes over him like a rejuvenating shower. He gives you a huge thumbs up. Why get a deck installed in your head? Why wouldn't I? It's compact, it's versatile, it's fast and powerful. With this sweet baby, I can deck wherever I go, whenever I want, without having to lug around something the size of an electronic keyboard around with me. It's the best of all worlds, I'm telling you. You've gotta get one for yourself. Isobel voice crackles in over your comlink. This guy is an idiot. Cranial cyberdecks are a terrible idea for more reasons than I can count. Deckers swap out their gear every couple of months. You want someone monkeying around your brain that often? I'll make it easy for you. You don't. The troll continues, blissfully unaware of Isobel's interruption. So, have I sold you on a head deck of your own yet? Come on. You know that I have. Yeah, you got me. I gotta get one of those for myself. His mouth erupts into a toothy grin. He thrusts an upraised thumb into the air. All right. Good call, my friend. I promise. I promise you, you won't regret it. So, was there anything else that you wanted to know? Go ahead and ask me anything. Where did you get your cranial deck? The Chop Chop Shop. In Kowloon City. They told me not to ask where it came from. He chuckles to himself. Lots of things fall off trucks out Kowloon way. I'm sure that this was the same. Well, I gotta go. See you around. All right. Headspace, that's your name? The man standing at the Az Technology demo station looks strangely out of place at Decker convention. He's been carrying a cyber deck, and you can't see any signs of cyberware on his person. Not even a data jack. He looks up from the kiosk, blinking. Did you want to use this? Am I in your way? He sounds preoccupied. He shifts his body and his movements are unnaturally smooth and graceful. As he moves, you can see that the kiosk screen is flickering. Apparently, the demo software has glitched out. I'm just passing by, man. Didn't mean to bother you. Oh, okay, that's fine. He turns back to the kiosk, his eyes blank. Enjoy the show. Weird. What's with that guy? I wonder what's... If I had Conjuring, I could, like, talk to him or do the thing, but... Alright, let's go to the signal. The perfect persona kiosk flickers to life at your approach. A debug menu pops onto the screen, along with a text prompt in all caps. 0. Enter the following key code into this kiosk. 1052RGFKLLPE98XVL0237ZZKPONB. Enter the code left, right, A, B. I'm just kidding. You tap the code on the kiosk keyboard. A moment later, a series of 5 loud popping sounds rattle off in your comlink's earpiece. Isobel's voice fills your ear, crisper and cleaner than it was before. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me, Zero? Yeah, I hear you. What was that? A command line code for the kiosk to connect you with your comlink via direct link. A hint of smugness creeps into her voice. This way, we can bypass using a comm signal entirely. Nice is... I know. As long as you remain within a couple feet of the kiosk, we shouldn't have any problems. Wander too far outside of that range, and you're going to get static again. So basically, I can't move from this spot. That's what I said, right? Now that we're all linked up, give me a second, and I'll locate Rhombus. You hear the sound of rattling keystrokes coupled with Isobel muttering under her breath. The line falls silent. The silence stretches. 10 seconds. 20. Then you hear Isobel explode. What the hell? He already has one? How the fuck does Rhombus merit a VIP pass when I don't? Wait, he's already in the VIP area. She rails into your earpiece, fuming. I'm twice the decker that he is, and everybody knows it. What makes him a VIP when I'm not? Calm down, Isobel. At least we know where he is. She takes a moment to calm herself. You can almost feel the heat of her anger radiating through your earpiece. All right, I know which room he's staying in now. Another strained silence. I'll just need a few minutes to get you your VIP upgrade. The line goes dead. Huh. That wasn't good. What should we... A series of clicks erupts in your ear, cutting Gobbet's sentence short. Your PDA begins blinking. You're receiving a video chat request. Give me 1 second, y'all. Okay, so we're going to answer the call. Isobel blossoms onto the screen, along with a pair of towering security guards. The line that connected her to the admin terminal hangs loose from its socket. I'm going to ask you again. What the hell are you doing in here? Take your time, and make sure that you're telling me the truth. I know if you don't. I'll know if you don't. Isobel stammers helplessly. I, well, I was just looking for the person who ordered this coffee. What? What? You were looking for him in the Matrix? And besides, you don't have any coffee, so try again. She continues to sputter. Her eyes dart toward the screen, fixing on you. You can see the desperation on her face. Well, I need to, Alright, Isobel, listen up. Say what I say and you'll be fine. Say okay if you understand. Okay. Last chance. Start talking sense or spend the night with the HKPF. What should we say? I just wanted to surprise my boyfriend. He works in this room. No, I'm not saying that. She catches herself, clenches her jaw. I just wanted to surprise my boyfriend. Apparently he works here. The guard glances at his counterpart. We don't have time for this. Just kick her out and be done with it. The guard in front of Isobel straightens. Yeah, you're probably right. She looks down on Isobel. She looks down Isobel, hands on her hips. I'm gonna let you go with a warning this time, but only this once. If I catch you anywhere near this room again, I'm turning you over to the police. Got it? But You're getting out of this easy, Isobel. Just go along with it. She clenches her jaw, looks up at the guard. Yes, sir. Good call. The line goes quiet as she moves out of the server room. Oh, so now I'm controlling Isobel. Okay. What a damn nightmare this is turning out to be. I'm sorry, Zero, but I couldn't get your VIP access. You got out of there in one piece, and without the cops getting drawn into this. That's what's important. You're right. At least I know where we have to go. Rhombus has a room in the VIP section, and I can get us there. There's only one problem. Without VIP access, you can't open the door without sounding an alarm. The picture on your PDA flickers worryingly. A moment later, Isobel's image returns to the screen. And let you through from this side. That's what I'm gonna do now. I'll make my way down to you and open the door. You just cut out again. Oh, no. I lost a bit of that. Are we gonna have communication problems again? Maybe, a bit. I'm still using the kiosk to talk to you, but now I'm not jacked in, I can't route messages to it directly anymore. Please stay put. If you lose the kiosk, we're gonna have serious communication issues. Got it. Oh, and I may need your help if I run into more people up here, Zero. In case you hadn't guessed, I'm not exactly a social butterfly. And if things go loud, I'll really need your help. I've got your back. Let's do this. Let's go. Clear out of the server room. Alright, so where can we go with Isobel? Isobel takes a quick glance at a terminal. I'll be damned. It's logged into an admin inbox and somebody left it unlocked. I can't open the door for you from here, but we can read the messages if you want. Do it. Isobel turns the camera in her PDA to face the screen of the terminal. Amber text on a stark black background swims into focus. HR Serve Hotel Messaging Service B version 2.0. Read messages. Ghost in the machine. Leave it unplugged. It came back. Damage control. Open the first message, Isobel. Holt Pong Nancy to admin Wing Z. Look, I'm gonna come right out and say it. The security guys are right. There's something horribly wrong with that noodle extruder. I ran a diagnostic on it this afternoon. I was halfway through recalibrating the broth nozzles when the damn thing started humming, and sure enough, it started churning out steaming hot juk sing noodles, just dumping them into the palms of my hands. You don't even want to see the blisters I'm sporting right now. Now there's a freaky thing. The dough hopper was empty. I unloaded it myself prior to beginning the diagnostic. I want to repeat that. It was producing dough out of thin air. That machine is haunted. You want my advice? Go get rid of it before the show. Whole pong, Nancy. Isobel blinks, nonplussed. Huh. I don't know what I was expecting this message to be, but that wasn't it. You want me to keep going? Open the third message. Whole pong, Nancy to admin, Wing Z. Okay, I'm getting seriously creeped out over here. The damn noodle extruder is back, Z. I can't explain it. We boxed the thing up yesterday and sent it to the manufacturer. It wasn't here 5 minutes ago. But now that we've opened the doors and the show is underway, I'm strolling through the food court and there it is, just sitting there with a line already forming. What the hell do we do? You and I both know that this doesn't have any dough in it. There's no seasoning in the spice reservoir. We don't have it hooked up to the hotel's water supply. The fucking thing isn't even plugged in. Where are the noodles coming from? What do we do? Ho Pong, Nancy. What do you want me to do, Zero? Open up the last message. Admin Wing Z to Ho Pong, Nancy. It's too late, Nancy. At least a dozen people have already eaten from the thing. We can't shut it down now. And we sure as hell can't let anyone know about it. If people were to get sick, the show could be held liable. Look, if it's any consolation, I've been pouring through the logs of old shows to see if anyone had mentioned the noodle extruder, and I found something. This exact conversation. 14 years in a row. I don't know what's happening with this machine. I don't know where it came from or how or why, but it's part of DECCON. Nobody can get rid of it. Nobody knows how it works. It just does. And people keep coming back to visit it. I think that this is a blessing in disguise. That's what I'm telling myself anyway. Just don't question it and everything will be okay. Wingsy. I don't even know what to say about this. What do you want me to do? Open the second message. The noodle extruder in the food court areas, or Wings Eats actually DECCON all. The noodle extruder in the food court area is out of order and should be left unplugged until further notice. Under no circumstances should any hotel or DECCON employee tamper with this device. Maintenance is looking into it. Again, do not plug in the extruder. Severe disciplinary action will be taken against any employee caught disobeying these instructions. Wingsy. Alright, you want me to open up another message? I've seen enough. Get down here and get us through this door. She steps back away from the terminal. Okay, I'm on it. So we have a haunted noodle extruder machine. Okay. That's crazy. What's this? Info about the conference room schedule. It tells you about a high-level exec in conference room 3 on the bottom floor. Okay. What we got here? Yeah, I'll definitely take a med kit. Isobel's outline goes fuzzy the moment she sets foot into the elevator. A loud, rhythmic whooshing sound dominates the low end of your PDA speakers. It sounds a bit like the rotors of a helicopter. Excuse me. Heads up, Isobel. We're getting a lot of interference here. An elf in his mid-20s steps aside to let Isobel at the floor selector panel. He looks wired, jittery, stemmed to the gills, most likely. There's no telling how long it's been since he's gotten a wink of sleep. Isobel punches the button for the ground floor. Working the show, huh? That has to be hard. The elf smiles down on Isobel, his expression affable. I'd feel tempted to blow off work and go check out the kiosks. Maybe take in a panel or two. Yeah, it's tough, alright. I wish that I could just drop everything and explore. She starts in repeating your words with forced sincerity. It's tough, alright. I wish that I could just She falls silent. You can see her staring at the man's VIP badge. Isobel, what's wrong? Her eyes remain locked on the man's badge. Kind Ding, huh? That's an interesting street name. Been decking under it long? A couple of years now. He smiles. Longer than anyone else to use the handle. Just smile and nod, Isobel. You're trying to go unnoticed, remember? If she heard you, she doesn't acknowledge it. I know who you are. You're the one who shut down the Kowloon City power grid 6 months ago. He clears his throat. Yeah? Yeah, that was me. Let's just keep that between ourselves, though, alright? That little stunt screwed over a lot of local deckers. Her voice is soft, but you can detect a definitive undertone of hostility. A couple of them soaked up nasty hits of dump shock because of it. You wrecked the grid while they were jacked into their home machines. My team was in a bind. They needed a power outage right then and there, or they were cooked, so I gave them one. It was the best solution to a bad situation. Let's leave it at that. An icy silence descends on the elevator car. A few seconds later, Isobel pierces it. There was this Decker. She lived out in Hawi, called herself Spinster. She was a good person. Now she's in the ground. She never came back out of the coma that your stunt put her into. Another long pause. Slowly, Ding extends his hand towards the emergency brake. The snap out of it is, we aren't here for this guy, and we can't afford to start shooting yet. She balls her hands into fists. You can read the tension in her body language. She's biting her tongue. At least, that's what I heard. I'm just a caterer. I'm not a decker myself. He stares down at Isobel. The smile has vanished from his face. Yeah, sure you're not. You've come to get me, haven't you? To take revenge for your friend. Did her people put out a contract on me? Is that it? Say, I'm not a decker, honest. I'm just a caterer who spends way too much time lurking on the Shadowland BBS. I'm not a decker. I'm just a caterer who spends way too much time. Abruptly, the connection cuts to static. This isn't good. The static pops and hisses for 10 seconds, 20. Finally, the picture warbles back into view. Kind Ding is in mid-sentence, practically frothing with rage. did what I had to do. If you were in my position, you'd have done the same if you'd have gotten them killed. He's shouting. The sound of it reverberates in the cramped confines of the elevator car. There was no third way out of that scenario. Isobel starts to respond. The anger is clear in her tone. I would not have... Isobel, stop. Listen to me. She stopped short. What? You're crazy. An insane person. And when I get out of this elevator, I'm going to the hotel security office. Apologize to him and sound like you mean it. That's the only way we're getting out of this now. You hear the dull, grating sound of grinding teeth. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. I just get upset sometimes. You're damn right I'm offended. You came at me like a crazy person. Static. The comms have cut out again. This is getting old. As quickly as it went, the picture flickers back onto your PDA screen. Kind Ding looks calmer now. The elevator is descending. Remember what we discussed. You keep your cool, and this turns out well for the both of us. We live and let live. Understood? Yes. I didn't want any trouble from you in the first place. I'm just glad that it was all a misunderstanding. Please don't take this the wrong way, but I'll be happy if this is the last that I ever see of you. The feeling is mutual. The car finally slides to a halt, and the elevator doors slide open. The other decker doesn't get off. Enjoy the rest of the show. Now get a move on, Isobel. Sorry, I was trying to hit the mute button so you didn't have to hear me burp, but... The hallway ahead is blocked by a trio of struggling bodies. A blackout drunk troll hangs slung between a pair of cursing security guards, one male and one female. As you watch, they struggle valiantly to drag her down the hallway. The troll's voice comes out in an inebriated roar. Unhand me, you fool! The older of the two guards, a middle-aged man with a pompadour haircut, struggles with all his might to keep his prisoner's flailing arms constrained. Don't let her go, Hoyi. She has the strength of 10 men. Yes, sir. You recognize her as the guard who was standing by the employee entrance on the show floor. How she got roped into troll hauling duty is anyone's guess. The security captain locks eyes with Isobel. Clear the hall. Great. Another roadblock. Isobel's small voice chirps out, echoing your words. Great. Another roadblock. With an exaggerated motion, the troll swings her head toward Isobel. You, dwarf girl, help me. These... She hiccups mightily. The sound reverberates in your ears. These Drakes want me to leave because I'm a troll. What's happening here? None of your business. You're not even hotel staff. You shouldn't be back here at all. He hugs the troll's left arm to his chest with all of his strength, desperately trying to weigh her down. She lifts his feet a few inches off of the floor, then slams him back down. He lets out an audible whimper. Now clear the way and report to your manager. Quit fighting me, damn it, before I talk to him for you. The former door guard stares at Isobel. Recognition dawns on her face. Hey, I remember you. You said that you had to meet some caterers up on 6. What are you doing down here? Okay, say I was just checking to see if anybody down here wanted a drink. Just checking to see if anybody needed a drink. You want a mojito? The man strains against the troll's drunken efforts. His brow is beaded with sweat. You shouldn't... Hold still. Be here. Not even to offer drinks. The troll looks down on Isobel and issues a mush-mouthed plea. Ignore these pegs and help me. I'll take the run on the left. You take the right. The troll bucks against the guard's grasp, nearly breaking away from them. They double down on their attempts to hold her. Isobel stares into the PDA. She looks irritated. To hell with this. It's a waste of time, and we've got a schedule to keep. Her hand moves towards her weapon. What do you mean? What schedule? Uh, say that you misspoke. Quick. What rhymes with schedule? Screw it. Without another word, she goes for her gun. The security guard recoils in disbelief, and the drunken troll seizes the moment to break their grip. She lets out a yelp of exultation. A deafening crackle of static from the intercom system draws the attention of everyone on the show floor. A second later, you hear the security captain's voice in glorious stereo, the intercom sounding in one ear and your PDA's earpiece in the other. Oh shit! Take her down! Take them both down! But oh, I guess it's time to go help Isobel. Damn, she is beating the shit. Alright, let's break this shit. This door appears to be made of hollow core pine, a rarity in modern day Hong Kong. It wouldn't take much effort to knock it off its hinges. An alarm system has been linked into the doorway, but the building alarms are already blaring. Kicking the door down now won't make much of a difference. Yeah. Alright, Isobel, let's see what you got. Oh, there's hella security. Yeah. I think a spirit will do some wonders here. Man, why would you do that, bro? You got a freaking troll right in front of you, just trying to kill you. Alright. That is stupid, bro. Okay, let's go ahead and, what kind of spells do you know? What kind of spells are you working with? Aim and mana arc. Okay, let's mana arc. Ooh. Alright, me... Do I want to move up? Nah, not yet. Let's go ahead and hit him with some of this. Yeah, definitely. Alright, Gobbit. Yeah, Gobbit can just chill. For now, until I move up. Ooh, okay. Damn. Alright, let's go rush this dude. We finna rush the shit out of his ass. Mana arc. Miss, okay. Alright, definitely gonna move up now. Isobel, oh my god, you were fucking clutching it right now. Alright. Go to Rhombus's suite. Alright, let's go find this guy. I believe it was 20... Oh, okay, here it is. As you burst through the door, you find yourself standing face to face with a small, heavily tattooed man. Geometric shapes of all descriptions trace their way from his temples down his cheeks and neck to his shoulders. His eyes continue the motif. Each of his irises is a slanted rectangle. Rhombus looks at Isobel and sighs. If he's surprised to see her, he doesn't show it. You finally want them back, huh? The memories that we locked away. I always knew that you would one day, but you got so hostile after the procedure. I didn't think you'd come around this soon. Isobel glowers at him, her cheeks darkening. Oh, get bent, Rhombus. I got hostile with you because you got hostile with me. Like hell I did. I tried to give you some advice as a friend. If memory serves, you called me a patronizing bastard and slagged my deck. What was I supposed to take without... What, was I just supposed to take that without punching back? Hang on a sec. Isobel cuts in, her normally small voice growing raucous. I called you a patronizing bastard because that's what you were being. You wouldn't have taken that tone if I were a guy or an orc or a troll. You talked down to me like I was your little sister or something. Well, guess what? I'm not. Whoa, hold up. I talked that way to you because... She shouts over him, cutting him short. Also, punch back? That's a funny way of putting it. You tailored an ESP to troll all of my posts on Shadowland. What kind of prick would do a thing like that? His face goes beet red and his chest puffs out. The kind whose cat you had killed, you little monster. Captain Whiskers was just a house cat. He didn't have anything to do with this. She rears back in indignation. That wasn't me. I would never hurt a cat. If I were going to have someone killed, it would have been you. Both of you, shut up. There is a moment of stunned silence. Then Rhombus licks his lips and speaks. Let me ask you something. How many people did you kill to get to me? I mean, what kind of death toll are we looking at here? I'm assuming that the gunshots in the hall were your doing. Yeah, that's right. And if you don't play your cards right, another gunshot could be right around the corner. Yeah, I've got you. His eyes dart from side to side, then he starts screaming, Help! Security! Somebody! Help! They can't hear you, Rom. Know why? Because we killed them. Now give me my goddamn key. Rhombus doesn't respond, other than to increase the pitch of his screaming. He looks like he's on the verge of hyperventilating. She glances back at you. To hell with this. Let's just hit him like a piñata until the software comes out. Sound like a plan? Sure, what the hell. This guy is a pain in the ass anyway. Rhombus begins to back away, his eyes wide with terror. No, no, you keep away. I can do things to you in the Matrix. I can drain your bank accounts, slander you, publish your intimate details. Stay back, please. You go to work. It doesn't take long before he cracks. I'll give her what she wants. I'll give her everything. He keys in a series of rapid commands on his PDA, then turns to Isobel, sobbing. There, just check your inbox. You have it. Now, for the sake of whatever friendship we might have had, please let me go. Isobel examines her PDA, frowning. A few seconds later, the frown turns to a smile. She nods at you. He wasn't lying. I've got the encryption key. Let's stuff him in the closet and go home. Encryption key? I thought you said that he had the software that you needed. Technically I have it. She taps her temple. Up here, in headwear storage. But I can't access it without the key. And thanks to Rhombus here, now I've got it. Isobel, what was this really about? Recovering my old memories, the ones about the walled city. I still have them, but I can't get at them. Rhombus did that after I moved here. At your request, you little psycho, you begged me to do it. Excuse me. That's actually true. We were friends once. Or we were friends then. She looks down at Rhombus, who lies whimpering on the floor. Now we're not, and that's why you're getting stuffed in a closet. You set upon the grim task of shoving a protesting Rhombus into his own room closet and latching the door. You manage to get him inside without having to break any bones. He'll probably have bruises tomorrow, though. Come on, Zero. We got what we came for. Let's go. Suddenly, an explosion of sound fills your ears. Heavy footfalls advancing down the hall. You hear shouting, the crackle of radios. The HKPF. Oh, that son of a bitch. Ron must have called the cops. He's probably got a panic button or something. She casts a hateful glare at the closet door, then draws her silver gun. Get ready, Zero. We've got company. And it's time for combat, y'all. Let's get up out of here. Or try to. Okay, maybe a spirit would be good here if we have another one. Do we have another totem? Nah, damn. Okay. Raptor would have been great here. Let's go ahead and move here for now. Yeah. Isobel, we will put you back here. And Gobbit, you'll move up here, because you can do some stuff with magic. Uh-oh. Oh, they got a... Oh, wait a minute. Does she have that ability still? Slow movement -2. You bastards. You bastards. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Poison, fog, aim, heal wound, haste. Okay. So we're going to heal wound. Heal myself for 2 HP. We'll go ahead and go here. And we will pull out the AK. Yeah, let's get this. So let's kill this bitch. If we can kill her. If we can kill her, then that spirit will also go away. So that's 6 damage there. Okay. Isobel, I need you to start shooting grenades. Wait, do you have a smart proximity grenade? Yeah, that's too much. That's too much. Gobbit, fuck it, come up. Yeah, so I need you to start shooting grenades like right now. Oh my god. Okay, I am getting wrecked right now, like bad. Oh my effing G. I am getting demolished right now. I'm getting demolished right now. Isobel? I need to do something, because we are getting demolished by the HKPF right now. Gala is really hurt. So she might actually go down right here. Yeah, Ractor would have been real good to bring him, but I can't really do anything much about that right now. Alright, yes, we got the Conjurer. Alright, good. Yeah, she went down. But she does have a trauma kit on her, so she will heal herself automatically. Okay, cool. So we got an Enforcer, the Captain. Okay. Loki might... I should have moved Albert back. It's okay. You know, I'm not going to have her move out of cover just yet. Not enough damage, but it is what it is. They're moving up on us. Okay. Alright, I'm going to have Gobbit move away. She is hurt. To be honest, though, I could be able to heal her, though, right now, so... Let me go ahead and heal. fucking kidding me, bro? Oh my god, dude. Wow. Wow. I can't do anything right now. Just shoot. That's all I can do. I'm about to die. No, that guy came out of cover? Why? Alright, she's actually down now. I'm gonna need to intervene. Or maybe ISO Bell can. Yeah, bitch. Yeah. Uh-oh. Alright, here we go. I'm gonna pick up, Gobbit. Dude, I am hurt so bad. Luckily, I have health kits myself, but... Jesus. Are you kidding me right now? Bro. I don't even have any more fucking health kits. Or revive aids. Fucking bitch, man. And Gobbit is dead, bro. She just dies. Yeah, I'm gonna have to freaking load the entire game. Wow, let me see. Yeah, Gobbit just dies. Are you fucking kidding me right now, bro? Dude. Yeah, maybe Gobbit wasn't the best to bring. You know what? I summoned the spirit preemptively. I shouldn't have summoned that spirit. I wish there was a rewind. Because I think I'm going to have to do this whole level again. Maybe. Maybe not. Because it said my last save was at 226. So that was actually not that long ago. Like 14 minutes. Well, at least we know now that they could actually like die. So yeah. Okay, so let's see where we're at. Okay. So we actually come here. So we ain't even gonna read any of this shit. We're just gonna go in. Okay. So for one, we're not gonna have Gobbit go out there like that. That's one thing. She is gonna stay in the back casting spells. I figured since she had a submachine gun, she'd be good, but nah, that was not the case. So let's go ahead and set them up. We may have to waste a turn here, but fuck it, you know what I mean? Like, it's better than getting shit on, like, bad. Okay, okay. Alright, so we're just gonna grenade off rip. Hopefully, oh, man. Dude, this dude does not have an arm, man. ISO Bill. Damn. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's set up the mine. Gobbit. Let's put some fog out there. Poison fog for them motherfuckers. Oh, okay. I think we just got something happening in our favor. The spirit, they lost control of it. Oh, yeah. Damn. Okay. Well, that works too. All right, let's start shooting. Yeah, I'm gonna start hammering these guys with everything I got. Yeah, that's great damage there. Great damage. Let's go ahead and get a heal on ISO Bell. Let's go ahead and get my aim up because I need that shit. That poison fog, oh yeah, see? I knew it. Let's shoot some more grenades. Damn! ISO Bell coming through with the clutch. Dude, that worked out so good in our favor. Actually, let me do this. Yeah, let's get a little bit of aim, extra aim. Still, that's a close range weapon, so. Alright, ISO Bell, you got hella med kit, so you can heal yourself, so there you go. And boom. Yep. Alright. Awesome. Everybody lived. Wait, why is ISO Bell just standing there? Come on, let's go. Yeah, let's get the fuck out of DECCON. The bus trip back to Kaitak is quieter than the ride it was. Your fellow passengers sit crumpled in their seats, barely moving, barely speaking. Their DECCON 2056 t-shirts hang loose on their frames, and their once cherished guest badges have been crumpled into their pockets. You've seen more lively groups on their way to the morgue. Isobel looks up at you, her eyes full of the same post-con fatigue that you see in everyone else's. She gives you a small smile and taps her temple with a fingernail. You've got what you came for. The show is over. It's time to go home. Whoa, okay, we got 8 karma now? Whoa. Okay, let's go ahead and put that 8 karma in. Let's see. Definitely need some. We got a 4 in shotguns, 4 in pistols, 4 in range combat. We're gonna go a 5 in quickness. Okay. Do I have any biotech? I have 2 in biotech. Okay, that's good. Let's go ahead and go with. Well, I only have 3 left, so I don't really know what to put in. Maybe not close combat. I'll probably just hold on to this 3 karma for the next mission. Okay. A diminutive female orc regards you with a sharp, challenging look. The fierceness of her expression contrasts starkly with her sweet, rounded face and neat bob. She flexes her cyber fists. She fires off a rapid-fire reproach in a thick Filipino accent. Why are you staring at me like that? Didn't anybody teach you manners? She plants her fist on her leather-clad hips and just juts her chin out at you. Relax. I didn't mean to stare. She gives you an unwavering sidelong gaze. You're a stranger on my turf. I expect people to be civil to one another. This isn't your turf. It's a public area, and besides, these streets belong to my boss, Kylie Chang. The orc's eyes narrows. You're not too good at making friends or fitting into new surroundings, are you? I think we got off on the wrong foot here. She blinks and her jaw unclenches. It's all right. I can tell you're a newcomer. I just feel a little protective of my part of town. The orc looks you up and down. Finally, with a gruff nod, she introduces herself. I'm Rosario Ignacio, or to the members of my community, Cherry Pink. I specialize in transport missions and nanny services. I occasionally Shadowrun for walking around money. I can also fry up a mean batch of lumpia, but you can't have any unless I like you. Oh, I know what lumpia is. It's kind of like a Filipino egg roll. Cherry Pink. Seems like an odd choice for a street name. She glowers at you. It's a bona fide Filipino nickname. Unless you want a mouthful of fish, you'll show it respect. You said that you make great lumpia. What is that exactly? Filipino spring rolls, crispy and delicious and full of pork or whatever pork flavor substitute is on sale. It's important to be frugal. It has suddenly become very important to me that you like me. A corner of her mouth twitches upward. She gives you a sidelong glance. Then you must earn it. Everybody wants to be my friend because everybody wants lumpia. Only a handful deserve it. You said that you're a nanny. She nods enthusiastically. Look around you. See these Shadowrunners and dealers of contraband and Johnsons? There's a fair number who have kids, though they wouldn't shout it from the rooftops. It's usually too dangerous to keep family close. That's where I come in. Shadow nannies are a great idea. No more bringing my baby into combat situations. The orc raises her chin proudly. I've shuttled kids in and out of war zones. I've gone into hiding with little ones for months on end while their parents had to lie low. I've taught children good manners, hygiene, and the proper use of firearms for over 20 years. Wait, you teach kids how to use weapons? I show them how to use weapons safely. She jabs a finger at you for emphasis. What's dangerous is not explaining their world to them, the shadows, that is. These kids have to grow up fast. Weapons training is appropriate when you're living in a smuggler's den. Makes perfect sense to me. I'm really glad that someone finally gets it. The gut reaction for most people is to deny the danger. The rest seem to think that children are too immature to step up to the challenge. Me, I trust my kids. I don't underestimate them, and they never let me down. How did you go from babysitting to running the shadows? Her cheeks flush. Well, I used to take care of the children of a Wu Jing bigwig up in the peak. Turned out she was siphoning corporate funds to support both a gambling addiction and an extravagant lifestyle. She got sloppy, and I stumbled across some pretty damning documents as I was tidying the house. I couldn't unsee them, much as I wished, and I started to fear for my life. She was growing desperate, erratic, so I ran. What's happened in the Philippines that you can't go back? The Japanese imperial state happened. Supposedly, they've been in charge there for decades. I was just a little girl when they sent their imperial marines in. They destroyed my old neighborhood. I don't remember the events, but I still dream of fire to this day. How do you get out? Half my family fled to the mountains. The other half left the country and eventually scattered all over the globe. I didn't grow up close to anyone but my parents, who are now gone. What's the political situation like? The Japanese have run up against resistance from a group that came to be known as the Hook, nationalists, neo anarchists, but the resistance ultimately gets its backing from a dragon, Masaru. While the struggle continues, the country can't heal. Could you smuggle yourself in and find your remaining family? No, I could have just walked in and started looking. Besides, my relatives could be barricaded in caves avoiding JIS forces for all I know. Hate to say it, but I don't think they stand a chance against the JIS. She snorts and lifts her chin high. Filipinos are a resilient people. I think the Hook will triumph eventually. And if I've got a Filipino community around me, I'm good. Thanks for talking about it anyway. Not many people enough to bother. You didn't run too far away. Why not leave Hong Kong? I couldn't go back to Manila because of those JIS scumbags. But there's always been a large community of Filipinos in the shadows. I sought them out. How'd you get your cyberware? There's always been a large community of Filipino in the shadows. I reached out and they all pitched in to set me up as a Shadowrunner. Now, whenever I land a good gig, I give most of my earnings away, give back to the community. Do you ever have regrets about leaving your old life behind? She looks away suddenly, her eyes moistening. I'm not sentimental about my old post, if that's what you mean. The orc takes a big breath and continues. But on Sundays, my only day off, I used to go and sit with the other nannies and housekeepers. We'd bring pieces of cardboard so we could sit on the ground in shade under bridges. We'd gossip, eat lumpia and rice cake. Nothing special. But I don't belong to that world anymore. I couldn't risk word getting back to my old employer. I miss my old friends though. Let's talk about something else. If you like, I should go. She nods at you. Be on your way then. Yeah, so basically the job I just didn't really pay too much. It didn't pay at all, but I helped ISO Bell though. That's what counts. Let's go ahead and get some rest. You wake with a start. Once again, you're tangled in your sheets, drenched in sweat. Your throat feels like it's on fire. You can't remember what your dreams were about, not precisely. But again, you feel that yearning sensation, the emptiness in your gut and in your chest. Your head throbbing, you heave yourself out of bed. I'm gonna exercise a bit, Jax. Help me clear my head. Come back later and we'll talk. Oh, we got some upgrades. Yeah. Okay, so she can now steal spirits. And then we got Isobel. We could either have her mark targets. Yeah, we'll probably have her mark target. Duncan. Mercy kill. Yeah, we gonna have him killing people. Yep. And Ractor, you gotta put a shotgun or a rotary saw. I think I'll take a rotary saw for the mangler. Confirm. All right, let's talk to Isobel. Isobel half turns away from the octopus's main display. She looks up at you, blinking. The memory stick that you acquired from Rhombus has already been slotted into one of the computer's many expansion ports. The cherry red plastic that sheathes the stick looks slick and wet in the lights. You did good back there. That run went well. Her eyes flit down to the memory stick. We've got the stick, the key to my old memories. All I have to do now is slot it. You haven't unlocked your old memories yet. No, not yet. I mean, I can. It'd be as simple as plugging myself in and tapping a key. My old memories are all mine if I want them. But you're not sure that you want them. She nods. That's about the shape of it. I'm feeling hesitant about this. It isn't easy, you know, shifting organic memories into headwear storage, wiping the originals and locking them away for safekeeping. That's corporate level mind sculpting. Serious business. Locking the files away was important to you. I got that. Very important. If it wasn't, I wouldn't have let an amateur tinker with my brain in the corner of a derelict shopping mall. Whatever I've got up there, I was desperate to get rid of it. Makes a girl wonder why. None of this changes the fact that we just risked our lives to get you that key. No, it doesn't. And I'm grateful. She sighs. Look, I'm going to do this. I have to. For the good of the team. I know that there could be something locked away in storage that could help us. That's why I suggested the run in the first place. I'm just dragging my feet a little because I'm afraid. You shouldn't let your fear decide for you. Acknowledge it and move on. Another long pause. Isobel stares at her feet, thinking. Finally, she looks back up at you. You're right. I know that. I knew it before we went to get the code. I just needed to talk through it with someone, not gob it. Someone who could take the situation seriously. I needed to talk through it with you. Hey, that's what I'm here for. Without another word, she pulls the cable from a pile on the floor and slots it into her data jack. The other end disappears into one of the octopus's many brains. Her fingers fly across the octopus's keyboard, rattling off a series of audible clicks. Finally, her thumb hovers over the execute key. Alright, Zero. Wish me luck. The key depresses with an audible click. Isobel's eyes flutter, and her cheeks flush with blood. Oh, no. No, 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 no. She starts shaking her head from side to side, wringing her hands. A progress bar on the octopus's auxiliary monitor slowly climbs. Oh, fuck. You got this, Iz. Don't back down now. Thanks for the tip. And I'm not backing down. It's almost done. The progress bar climbs to 100. Isobel snatches the cable back out of her data jack and covers her eyes with her hands. She's shivering. She clutches her temples in the palms of her hands. Now I remember why I didn't want these anymore. Are you alright? No, I'm not alright. I'm the opposite of alright. She clutches at her skull, like she's afraid it's going to crack open. There's a lot of bad stuff in here. Things that happened to friends of mine, to relatives. Things that I watched happen. No. You've got this, Iz. You're strong. Believe it. Yes, I can. But this is harder than you'd think. Her voice is ragged, raw. These memories are crystal clear. It's like all of this shit happened yesterday. I can remember watching friends die, and I can see their screaming faces just as clearly as I did the day that it happened. It's like watching a Trid show, but it's my life, and it's real. Isobel, focus. Is there anything in there that can help us? She screws her eyes shut in concentration. Beads of sweat hang heavy on her brow. I I think so, yes. It'll take time for me to sift through all this. She opens her eyes again, looks up at you. I'll hold on to these memories for as long as I can. Hopefully long enough to reveal something useful. No promises beyond that, though. Thank you, Isobel. Don't thank me yet. I can still crack in half an hour and lock away the files. She gives you a weak half smile. Gonna do my best not to, though. One thing that does jump out at me. Rhombus archived some software up here. She taps her temple with a fingernail. It's sitting on top of the memories, all wrapped up like a present. Don't know why he did it, but it looks like a combat package. My interest is officially piqued. It's interesting, yeah. I'm gonna have to study it to know what it does for sure. Looks like some sort of basic attack modification. I think that maybe I can use it. There's some good news. Yeah, it's all very exciting, but for now, just give me some space, okay? She turns away, shivering. Like I said, it's gonna take time for me to make sense of this stuff. Alright, I'll check back with you later. She waves you away. Good. Go. Now. Gobbet looks up from her hot plate at the sound of your approach. A smile creases her face. She raises her eyebrows and gestures at the cabin around you. You know, the Defiance has really been shaping up over the past few days. With all the work that we've been putting into her, she's starting to feel like a real home. Anyway, enough about the boat. She puts her hands on her hips, sending madness scurrying. Ready for your next lesson? Or did you just want to chat? Let me take a drink of some water before we continue. Excuse me. I'm ready for my next lesson. Yeah? She smiles. That's good. I was hoping that you want to keep going with this. It's good for you, and I'm kind of enjoying it too. Gobbet runs a hand through the knotted ropes of her hair, a contemplative look on her face. A moment later, she turns her attention back to you. Alright, this is going to be another long story, so I'm thinking we should take it in chunks. If you got any questions, you can ask them along the way. And if you need to take a break, we can come back to it. Sound good? Don't ask me. Don't ask, tell. You're the one who's running this show, remember? Of course I remember. She folds her arms over her chest. And you're right, I'm the teacher here. So shut up and listen until I tell you not to. Alright. So last time I told you about the event that brought an end to my illustrious career as a subcontractor. This time, I'm going to tell you about a run that I went on with my regular team. Was this where you started running with Isobel? No, this was long before Iz hit the streets as a runner. We were friends and everything, but she was still learning the deck back then. She was good for her age, but she wasn't ready for prime time. You don't know anyone from the group that I'm talking about. They're all gone now anyway. You've had a rough career, haven't you? Yeah, I guess that I have. But I'm still alive. That's something. Puts me ahead of a lot of other runners I've known. The truth of the matter is, as runners, dying on the job is an occupational hazard. We're disposable assets. It shouldn't come as a surprise when we get used up and tossed away. It was the same way in the Barrens. Here today, gone tomorrow. Yeah, You know how it is. People die and it's sad, but there's no sense moping about it. How did you meet this group of yours? Through mutual friends. We actually all lived together before we decided to start running as a team. There was this floating squatters commune in Hung Hom Bay. It's probably still out there, actually. I haven't been back in a long time, but I spent a few years living on the thing, and the rest of the team lived there with me. Squatters commune. She nods. Yep, we called it the sinking ship. It was like an enormous raft, all bolted together from old shipping containers. Wasn't the most comfortable place I've ever lived, but the price was right and the company was good. Tell me about the team that you were running with. Sure. She extends a hand so that she can count off teammates on her fingers. Madness scurries down her sleeve and perches on her forearm. Our muscle was a Hawaiian Jew with poor impulse control. Big, round guy with lumberjack arms and ringlets in his hair. He called himself Honu. I guess that he loved turtles? I don't know. Street names are weird. We had a tech specialist, Egret. She was tall, gawky, dyed her hair bone white. She had a drone named Arlo that followed her around like a lost puppy. She was kind of a jack of all trades, but she could get the job done. Fun at parties, too. Our de facto team leader was a guy named Sui. He was a wiry troll, if you can imagine that. Probably about 2% body fat, all skin and bones. Walked with a hunch to make himself look smaller. He was a shaman, followed Rat, like me. Sounds like an interesting group of people. It was, but then everyone I've worked with has been interesting in his or her own way. As a rule, shadowrunning isn't a profession that attracts boring people. I'd like to hear more about the sinking ship. Let's hold off on that for a little bit, okay? I'd like to get through the rest of this story before we spend any more time on the raft. After your lesson's over, I'll tell you whatever you want to know about the commune, but for now, I'd rather not get sidetracked. Okay, I think I've got a grasp on the team dynamic. Keep going. She nods. All right, moving on. Okay, let me get comfortable here. So one day, Sui brought us a job. He'd met a client in a Victoria Harbor bar, a rich Eastern Tiger exec. The guy wanted us to steal something for him, a shiny object. She raised her hands. I know, it's stupid, right? But that was how the Johnson described it to us. The shiny object. That's what he wanted to get. He wanted us to get. He never gave it any other name. All right. So, what'd the client tell you about this thing? He gave us a physical description. We were supposed to look for a chunk of red jade about the size and shape of an ostrich egg, with a mirror polished surface and gold wire inlays. He said that it'd have paper charms hanging off of it, food talismans, Taoist sorcery stuff. We weren't supposed to touch those. The client also told us about the shiny object's then owner, an old hedge wizard turned entrepreneur named Kong Zhuan. And where was he supposed to be keeping the thing? Intel said that the old man Zhuan was keeping the shiny object in one of his warehouses. He had a bunch of them. He built himself a nice little empire selling magical paraphernalia through puppet vendors in the Yao Mate night market. Supposedly, a good fifth of the stalls in that place were on Zhuan's payroll. Got it. Keep going. So we'd cased the warehouse for a couple of nights before the run. Did some recon, took some notes. From what we'd seen, we were pretty sure that Juan was keeping our payday in vault area at the very back of the building. Security was pretty heavy though. was pretty heavy, though he was paying a local triad for protection, and he kept a lot of their boys on staff. Sui was the one who came up with the plan. We'd split up outside and enter the warehouse in two teams. Team A would create a diversion. Team B would hit the vault while security was looking the other way. We'd grab our payday, regroup, and get the hell out of there. Stream seemed straightforward enough. How'd it work out? Surprisingly well, up to a point. Team A, Honnu, and Egret circled around the loading dock just like we'd planned. Sui and I waited by the service entrance. We didn't have to wait long. A couple of minutes in, we heard this ungodly crash, then another, and another. As it turns out, Egret had rigged into Juan's network of automated forklifts. She had 6 of them running amok in the loading dock, chasing down workers and crashing themselves into anything marked fragile. Subtle. It wasn't supposed to be subtle. She was making a distraction, remember? Honestly, Seattle, you need to start paying attention. Anyway, Egret's distraction did what it was supposed to do. As Sui and I watched, most of the triad guys at the service entrance abandoned their posts and went hauling off toward the loading dock. A couple guys with baseball bats stayed back, but we handled them easily enough. We slipped inside and made a beeline for the back of the warehouse, where the shiny object was supposed to be. And did you find it there? Yeah, actually, it was there, just like we thought it'd be. The door was open and everything. The shiny object was sitting there in a teak cradle, gleaming with reflected light, just like the client had said. It had a ring of Taoist talismans hanging off it like a grass skirt, the paper all crinkled with age. We didn't waste any time. I reached in and grabbed the thing. It felt strange through my gloves. The jade sort of pulsed as if it had a heartbeat. That sounds ominous. Yeah, tell me about it. I wanted to drop the thing, but it was our payday, so I slipped it into my satchel instead. I couldn't get the flap closed quickly enough. The package being secure, Sui and I turned to hightail out of there, and then things went to shit. Did the shiny object do something unpredictable? No, not the shiny object. Old man Juan. He was standing there, right in front of us, larger than life. I'm guessing that when he heard the commotion in the loading dock, he'd come running, well, waddling, to make sure that his treasure was safe. As it turns out, it wasn't, because I had already stolen the thing. He looked displeased. What'd you do? What do you think we did? We had our backs to a wall. We lit the old bastard up. It was pretty epic, truth be told. Spirits were summoned, spells were discharged. The vault door sealed behind Juan like something out of a movie. At one point, the old man leapt onto Sui's back and tried to bite his ear off. I won't bore you with a play-by-play of how the fight went down. In the end, we crushed him. Unfortunately, the fighting had caused some collateral damage. At some point during our showdown with Juan, the control panel for the vault door must have eaten an arc of lightning or the blast of a powerball. It was toast, all black and melted, and neither of us could fix it. So you were trapped in the vault. Yeah, that's about the size of it, and it's only a matter of time before the old man's remaining security guys found us in there. There was still one way out, a ventilation duct, up high in the rafters, but it was too small for Sui to fit through. He was a troll after all. I had the shiny object, but if I left Sui there and security got to him, well, you do the math. So here's the conundrum. I've got our payday in my satchel. The team is split. It's inevitable that more Triad 49ers are going to find us, but we don't know when or how many. Egret and Honu are holding their own in the loading dock, for now. I can stay with Sui to help fight off the inevitable wave of Triad 49ers, but we'll be badly outmatched. Like, badly. The odds of survival won't look good for either of us. If Egret weren't pinned down in the loading dock, she could probably get the vault door open, but in order to get to her, I'll have to leave Sui alone in the vault. If Juan's reinforcements find Sui before I get back with Egret, well, she uses her thumb to draw a line across her neck. So what's the scenario? So that's the scenario, Seattle. Not a lot to work with, I know. Now tell me, what should I do? Well, you've got a dangerous magical artifact in your pouch, right? I think I'd try to use it. She nods, unsmiling. That's the most stylish answer, isn't it? Just audacious enough to be fun. It popped into my head right then and there, same as it did yours. So that's what I did. No hesitation. I just made it happen. It was almost like Sui had been waiting for me to pass him the thing. He seemed eager to take it. He hugged the chunk of rock to his chest like a newborn baby. Colors swam in the stone, and something changed in his eyes. Then old man Juan's 49ers breached the door, and Sui unleashed hell. She pauses, frowning, stops scratching Folly, and uses the hand to rub her eyes. Finally, she turns back to you. A sour look pinches her features. What went down in that room? Well, I've only seen that kind of carnage a couple times in my life, and I've been running the shadows for years. Those triad men were torn to scraps by the end of it. Don't think I'll ever forget the sounds that they made. She clears her throat. I spent most of the fight huddled up in the corner for my own safety. What Sui let loose from the stone didn't seem terribly interested in discriminating between friend and foe. What do you mean by that? Did he summon hostile spirits or something? Something like that. Sorry, I thought I had to sneeze, but then turned to a yawn. That was weird. Truth be told, I don't know what they were. Like I said, I was hiding, but he couldn't have done it without the shiny object. Not in a million years. Whatever they were, the rock brought them here. So what happened then? She shrugs. We waited for things to calm down in the vault, and for the things to go slithering away. I think that Sui had some limited control over them, which is why they didn't eat us. After they were gone, Sui gave me the shiny object back. I put it in my satchel, and we bailed. We collected the others on the way out. They were blissfully ignorant of what happened on the other side of the warehouse, and I didn't see a reason to change that. We hightailed it back to the docks and caught the first boat back to the sinking ship. Mission accomplished. Goblet looks away again and stares off into space. From what I'm told, people still avoid Juan's warehouse like the plague. It's supposed to be haunted even to this day. People who set foot in the building kept turning up dead. Pretty sure I'm one of the only living people who knows why. Abruptly, her body language changes. Anyway, that's it. Lesson's over. If you got any questions, go ahead. Gobbets. Was there a point to this story? I'm trying to find a moral here. There was when I started telling it. I thought I was going to tell you to be comfortable with breaking the rules. I don't think I'm going to say that now, though. I'm not feeling it anymore. Why not? At least your team made it out of this run alive. They didn't stay that way for long. But let's leave that for next time, huh? I don't want to just get into it just now. Can you tell me more about the sinking ship? Yeah, sure. Story's over, so we can get into it. I moved onto the sinking ship when I was just a kid. I think that I was 12, maybe 13 years old at the time. In the beginning, it was just me and a couple of rash shaman friends, Cadmus and Malvina. They were older, but they were always cool to me. The raft seems like a funny choice for of homes for a bunch of street shamans. Look, just because I follow an urban totem doesn't mean that I enjoy sleeping in the gutter. The sinking ship might not have been my first choice of recommendation, but it had virtues of being big and free. I like water more than I do paying rent. Didn't hurt that the sinking ship was well stocked and provisioned when we found it, either. And don't look at me like that. It was abandoned when we took it. Abandoned. There was a team of Shadowrunners that had lived on the thing before us, but they bid it on a job. Cad and Mal heard the knock of opportunity, and they claimed the raft or for a rat in record time. Taking over the sinking ship wasn't an easy job, mind you. The previous owners had installed traps and automated defenses all over the raft. Cad had his hands full with those for a month. What kind of traps are we talking about? She shrugs. The usual stuff, explosives, pop turrets, that kind of thing. Cad and his sister Yasmin took care of most of it. without too much trouble. The biggest problems were the scuttling charges. The runners who built the raft had installed these explosives all along the perimeter that ripped the bottom of the thing out. The blah that ripped the bottom of the thing if it were ever seized by the police. The explosives were tricky to deal with. Cat was able to disarm them, but we had to leave them where they were. It was always just slightly uncomfortable, knowing that I was sleeping on top of a couple 100 pounds of dormant explosives. Yeah, I can't blame you there. She shrugs. Hey, like I said, it was free. There weren't really any rules to follow, which suited me fine. Malvina was sort of the leader of our little nest, but we never really listened to her. She was always trying to play the mom card, instill a sense of responsibility into us. It was cute. She did have a propensity for getting things done, though. I have to give her that. Anyway, after a few months, other people started showing up: squatters, homeless people, shadowrunners, and assorted crazies. As long as they stayed cool with us, we were cool to them. Eventually, it became a community. Imagine that. Stranger things have happened. Yeah, sure, I guess so. She shrugs. Let's take a break and come back to this later. Of course, like I said, it's a long story. So, was there something else that you wanted to talk about? Any thoughts about the last run? Isobel and her stupid rivalry with Ramus. I can't believe she actually still cared about all that bullshit between them. Honestly, I think maybe she had a crush on him or something. Why else would they act like that? I mean, I guess getting your memories back is a good idea, but it would have been better not to lock them up in the first place. Yeah, maybe Rhombus was a jerk with how he gave advice, but she killed his cat, Seattle. Would you let that fly? Because I sure as hell wouldn't. Whatever. I just hope it was worth the hassle. That's all for now, Gobbit. Talk to you later. Hey, Seattle. I'm sorry that this lesson wound up getting a little unfocused at the end. I'm not really sure what came over me. It's cool. Don't worry about it. Well, I still feel bad about it. So look, I'll make you a deal. Your next lesson will definitely be on point, and I'll tell you what it's about up front. No more questions and answer sessions. How does that sound? Fine by me, Gobbit. Catch you next time. She waves. Next time. The air in Ractor's shop is ripe with the stench of old metalworking fluids. He turns to face you, a burning cigarette clenched between his teeth. Sorry about the smell. It's long past time to purge the cooling sump. He frowns. If I had access to the proper equipment, this would not be a problem. I could clean the fluid and reuse it. But alas, halogen treatment chambers are rather hard to come by, even in a place like Hewi. He shakes his head as if to clear it. Anyway, my friend, you didn't come here to discuss the ins and outs of shop maintenance, I'm sure. So what does bring you here? I've been thinking about what we talked about last time. Mind if I ask you a few questions? He tilts his head in acquiescence. Be my guest. I have no secrets to keep. About the drone self-repair system that you invented. How did it work? There were three distinct elements to my approach. When these elements were all working in concert, prototypes that utilized the process displayed remarkable self-repair capabilities. This may be a lengthy explanation. I can skim over it if you please, or I can break it down to you if you're genuinely interested. Give me the long version. I want to know how this process of yours works. He shifts his cigarette to the corner of his mouth. Very well. The long version it is. The first element of my process was an outer skin that the drone could be wrapped in, a refinement of older biomimetic self-healing materials, modeled to emulate the self-repair capabilities of living beings. Imagine a polymer composite interlaced with microtubules. capillaries, if you will. These vessels are capable of delivering bonding agents to the site of a wound as it occurs, thus healing it. I've heard of smart materials that operate on a similar principle. They've been around for decades, haven't they? Yes, though they remained uncommon until recently. As I said, my material was a refinement on those earlier designs. It was also only the first part of the system. The synergy between the three was what made the project work. The second element involved the underlying structure of the drone's architecture, the servos, gears, circuits, etc. Utilizing self-assembling materials and redundant systems, I created a system by which damaged components could be fabricated and replaced by the drone itself without any need for human interference. Alright, so you have self-healing skin and a self-replacing underlying structure. What was the third part? Finally, the system had a magical component. The corner of his mouth dips downward. I must confess a certain degree of ignorance when it comes to this portion of the project. I understand some of the theory behind what was done, but the specifics are beyond me. Tell me what you do know then. In layman's terms, a magical element was necessary to render the system self-perpetuating. Obviously, no purely mechanical system can repair itself indefinitely. The synthetic skin becomes more brittle with every wound that it heals, and the automated assembly components will eventually run out of materials to work with. As a rule, fighting against entropy is a losing proposition. But with magic, we can rewrite the rules, weaken the grasp of those entropic forces to the point that they are rendered negligible. Think of magic as the lubrication that keeps the gears turning. I wish that it weren't necessary, but I am also a realist, and I must confess that it is required for the system to work. And this package of systems is what your former colleague stole from you. What you need to get back. Yes, given enough time and resources, I might be able to recreate the first two components of the system on my own, but the magical component is, and will forever be, completely beyond me. That is why it is so important that we recover my research and the prototype that was stolen, and we will recover them. Of that, I have no doubt. What do you think that a post-human future would mean? Freedom. He takes a long drag on a cigarette, sucking the smoke deep into his lungs, and then he speaks. It erupts from his mouth in a plume. The ultimate freedom to direct our own progress and to steer ourselves as a people in whatever direction we wish. Consider, my friend, a, every aspect of Koshe was tailor-made for a purpose, dreamed up, designed, and built by a singular guiding intellect. Alright, keep going. Now think of the circumstances surrounding your own birth, and the building blocks that shaped you into the man you are today. Your mother and father exchanged fluids, sloppily no doubt, and with all the mindless abandon that such biological imperatives entail. That might have been the ugliest description of sex I've ever heard. Ugly perhaps, but accurate. Sexual intercourse is an inarticulate process, a messy delivery mechanism for genetic material spurred on by hormones and base urges. Any attempt to guide the process on a societal level gets branded eugenics and decreed as monstrous for obvious reasons. But I digress. The point I was making was that the forces that shaped you and me and anyone else you care to mention were ultimately mindless ones. Blind, manipulative biological drives that led a sperm and an egg to collide. Add in a roll of the dice and a dash of the Mendelian genetics, and here you are. The natural process of evolution and sexual selection guides the development of our species through trial and error. Throw a few billion darts at the wall and see what sticks. In the future that I foresee, this process will be reined in, guided by our own controlling intellects. The co-opted antiquated phrase, the myth of intelligent design, will become a reality, but we will be our own gods, reshaping ourselves as we see fit. Biological evolution is full of choice factor. We choose who we mate with. That choice helps to determine the traits that our offspring will inherit. Very true. But the pool is of possible traits that biological reproduction can select for is small. If I wanted to produce offspring with gill slits instead of lungs, I'd be out of luck. In a post-human future, I would face no such limitations, nor would anybody. We would no longer be slaves to the selective processes that have dictated our development since time immemorial. We would truly become the masters of our own fate. Let's say you're right. At what point do we cease being human and become something else instead? He shrugs. Whenever we choose to define ourselves in that way, humanity is an intrinsically human concept. If we decide to rebrand ourselves as a different species, this is our decision to make. I strongly suspect that nobody else would care. There are other forms of intelligent life out there, Ractor. Dragons, for example. They might care. Perhaps, but for the sake of our continued development, that's a risk that I am willing to take. We cannot limit ourselves out of fear of what others might think. Koshé raises itself up on its legs, stretching so that Ractor can caress his chassis. The motion is alarmingly fluid, more like a living thing than a machine. Ractor traces his fingertips over the drone's shell, his eyes focused on an imaginary point on the horizon. We have placed such unnecessary limitations on ourselves, my friend. It fills my heart with sorrow to know that what we could be, but are not. I would see those limits stripped away, peeled back and discarded for the betterment of all. In the future that I foresee, we will open our eyes to the possibilities that surround us. Bodies reshaped to thrive in the deep ocean and the depths of space. Bodies inspired by nature or the human imagination or both. Bodies that can be used and shed and used again, inhabited as their wearers see fit. The timely realization of such a future is what drives me forward. It is the cause to which I have devoted my life, and thankfully it is inevitable. He tips his cigarette, sending ash spilling down onto the metal floor, assuming, of course, that we don't destroy ourselves first. There's a hard limit to the fusion of man and machine. Doesn't your vision of the future require us to get past that? You're speaking of the essence limit and the problems associated with essence loss. He releases a plume of smoke from the corner of his mouth. Yes, of course it will be a problem, but as with all problems, a workaround will present itself. Of this, I am certain. What workaround? Essence loss will always be a problem. To deny that would be wishful thinking. Always is a dangerous word, my friend. I would encourage you to broaden your thinking. I am confident that you will reach the same conclusion on your own. For the time being, let us leave the matter at that. So, in this post-human future that you're trying to bring about, what role would a drone like Koshé play?
A similar one to the role that he plays now, I imagine. He was designed for a purpose, after all. That said, I can see the techniques that went into his design and fabrication having much broader ranging applications. You're pretty attached to that drone of yours, aren't you? You even assigned it a gender. You keep calling it a him. Yes, of course. Gaucher is very close to me. As if on cue, the drone scuttles forward, the hardened tips of its claws screeching across the metal floor of the shop. It comes up short just in front of you, a strange mechanical chittering rising from deep within its chassis. You might accuse me of anthropomorphizing my little companion, assigning human characteristics to him, where in fact there are none. Truth be told, there is much more to Koshei than meets the eye, but that is a different conversation, one best suited to be held for another time. Why? Why not talk about it now? Because I have work to do, and I'm sure that you can find better uses for your time than listening to me prattle on. He gestures towards the hatch in the ceiling. And with that, I'm afraid that I must ask you to show yourself out. We can continue our talk at a later time. Alright, Ractor. We'll talk later. He turns away. Good night.
All right, so let's head out. We gotta buy supplies, like big time. And I'm still broke. I am still broke. I don't even know how much new yen I have. 1,000. Damn. Eesh. Okay, that's Rosario. Law's Techno Palace. Ambrose looks up from what appears to be a housework drone on an operating table. Scrub up and get me the defibrillator paddle, Zero. I'm installing some headers on this guy's liver, and now we're going to shock him back to life. Ambrose bursts into laughter. But seriously, hand me the lube. What can I do for you today? Have you been having dreams, Ambrose? Nightmares. Nightmares? Hell, Zero. That's my life. I curl up with a ball of vodka and a handful of pills every night. But if you mean the 2D hunting horror dream, yeah, I've been having it. Shit, it's just one more nightmare. Ambrose drops his voice and leans forward a little in his wheelchair. Let me tell you though, I've been doing a brisk business in sleep aids. Just today, someone asked me for some ketamine. Ketamine? That stuff is a horse tranquilizer. What the hell made them think of that? Can you think of any medical reason we'd all be having the same nightmare? Nope. Even if we were all doing something similar intensively, it shouldn't happen. Our experiences are all too different. I've heard of mages and shamans who are somehow connecting to each other sharing dreams, but that's all. Ambrose waves his hand dismissively. Hell, what do I know? I'm not a doctor. I'm just a guy who subscribes to physiological modernista. If you want to know about dreams, ask Crafty. My formal diagnosis is that something fucking weird is going on. Can I have some ketamine? Hell no. If I had ketamine, I'd take it myself. He chuckled. But seriously, it's not something that's good to self-prescribe. You get a bunch of ketamine, it's not going it's not going to make you feel well rested. Thanks, Ambrose. No problem. Just doing my part to tamp down the crazy. You were a Hong Kong Shadowrunner. I was. He looks down at the remnant of his body, scarred and dismembered. I sure don't look much like one now. Ambrose yawns and stretches, straining his leg stump and scarred arm in opposite directions. Oh, man, that feels good. So there's a particular way this kind of conversation goes. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Yeah, we orbit around each other for a while, then tactically agree to speak in only the vaguest of terms. Ambrose looks at you approvingly. The grapevine says it's your first rodeo, but I'm not sure I believe that. Listen, I'm circumspect about my past, and you're a new active runner, so I don't want to know any of your story. It's only a liability to me. Ambrose props himself up, painfully, and leans forward a little. His living eye has an intelligent gleam to it. So let's make this conversation useful. I'll cut the BS and give you some down low on Hong Kong from an expat runner perspective. In return, you don't dig for my jobs list. Deal? Deal. Rock solid. Hong Kong is a good lily pad for a derby crasher like yourself, Zero. The shadows are deep. The money flows. It's friendly to foreigners, and there's no real government. The whole place is run by corporations and syndicates. However, as fresh meat off the boat, you've got to decide who you want to be. Foreign runners follow three career paths in the Kong. They assimilate, they burn their bridges, and get out fast, or they die. If you're a short timer, you can be as violent and splashy as you want. But a Waldo arm swings over his shoulder and points empathetically at you with its claw. If you're in for the long haul, learn the local arts, discretion, restraint, respect. Get that long term face and don't embarrass people. The Hong Kong shadows grind through expendable runners who are loaded up with bad face and then dumped in Victoria Harbor. So, whatever you do, watch your back. Anything I can do to mitigate the risk. Just keep your head on a swivel. If you're only planning to be here for a couple months and then vanish, cash in big. But if you want a life here, you've got to play by the rules. The other thing to remember is that Hong Kong is a really complex place. It's one of the great global cities with enclaves of every major megacorp. It's a syndicate town. It's a refuge magnet. And it's Guangdong. At some level, anything goes here. But Ambrose takes a deep breath and continues in a tone of low appreciation. When in doubt, assume that old Hong Kong traditions rule. I say that as a loudmouth bastard. Be polite, be modest, honor favors, maintain face, give respect, and always treat people's time as valuable. Go on. Hong Kong fascinates me. I used to hate it here. Now, I love it. Ambrose takes a big breath and sighs contentedly. I found a nice little piece. If you survive, maybe you can too. And you sure do seem like a survivor. People know who I am, but only in the network. Conley runs this neighborhood like a separate country. You paddle a boat across the canal, and no one's ever heard of me, and never will. Ambrose suddenly stops himself as if he realized what he's saying. He finishes lamely. Anyway, it's private. Understood. Good. Well, that's my wisdom. Ambrose breaks into a chuckle. What? Wait, what am I saying? My wisdom is you can never be too low profile, too lawyered up, or too well armed. You're pretty banged up. Why haven't you installed some bionic limbs? Ambrose taps his temple with one of his only remaining fingers. Because I'm already chromed to the gills. I don't look it, but I've got a full suite. Quad jacks, no soft, radio, skill wire, tactical computer, a whole bunch of riggerware. He lifts his dirty t-shirt, revealing a pair of tubes emerging from his side, running down into the wheelchair. Check it out. I've got an artificial liver in my chair. I want to keep my last essence.
I've come to like my humanity. I don't want to turn into one of the Walking Dead. The Walking Dead. Oh, come on. You know the names, right? The Walking Dead, Toasters, Chromouts. I don't want to be one of those lug wrenches who cyber themselves to within an inch of their lives and stop feeling normal emotions. I know what you mean. I've had friends like that. Then you get it. I don't want to be like that. And I'm real close to the line. Ambrose scratches himself ostentatiously with a robotic arm. Listen, I like talking about my chrome more than the next guy, but not right now. Besides, it's kind of a personal subject. You looking for something today? Show me your services. Sure thing. Tune up or spare parts. Medical supplies. Definitely need some medical supplies. So, Jesus, these are expensive. Screw it. Oh man, this is pricey. I'll just buy one of each, I guess. Yeah, we're good there. We're good there. The young troll bouncer manning the door is in the midst of patting down a prospective patron with enough force to dislocate his shoulder or hip, while other shady looking patrons walk idly past him into the club. He waves the shaken man inside, propelling him forward with a final pat on the back. People don't realize that you gotta check for internal weapons as well as external ones. Are we talking the rubber glove treatment? No, 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 nothing so crude. You just need the right technique. Matter of fact, I caught a guy last week with a phosphorus grenade in his leg compartment. And what did you do? Disarmed him, of course. Got it back behind the bar now. I'm gonna blow it off in the river. Impress some girls. You looking for a pat down yourself? No, just information. Doubt I can help you much there, but I'll try. Are you a member of the family that owns this place? Sure am. Frederick Coffey. Some call me Freddy. Most call me shit, no, please stop, or something along those lines. I'm also at the current record holder for the Club 88 pitch and toss, which is to say, I throw deadbeats harder and farther than anyone else around these parts. High watermark is that piece of tape over yonder. Guy was an orc too, hefty, but he simply soared that day. Are you running any business on the side? Nah. I may take the occasional payment to look the other way or be in the can when a fight breaks out, but I have enough on my plate that I can't really take on much else. Trading, you see. I love what I do, but you gotta work hard to stay in peak condition. I've also got some next steps in mind, so I'm working even harder toward that. Big plans. You just wait and see. I also play the drums. Why are you searching some people and letting others in? This is a private club. There's three kinds of people I let in: members, guests of members, and people who make a good case. The latter two get a really good search before they go in the door, unless they're with Kindly Chang or the Emperor of Japan or something. I don't care if someone has a cyber spur or a holdout pistol or whatever, but we can't have serious weapons on non-members inside. Ma sells some big stuff, but she puts electronic trigger locks on her merchandise until they're out the door, so people don't get dumb ideas. This is a no assassination safe zone. Serious weapons go into weapons check, unless you're a member. That way, if a big firefight ever breaks out, the members will have the upper hand. We keep the killings very rare. Most happens when some members get all fried up and decide to settle score with box cutters or something. So I'm a member now. You work for Kindly as a Shadowrunner, no less. That makes you a member. Remember the rules. No fighting, Unless you know it, unless you know it comes down to that, and you're ready to skip off the concrete. No killing either. If you've got legitimate killing business, go do it somewhere else. People come here to have a good time. Got it. Good. I'll leave you be. Ermine haggles with a dwarf over the price of a customized shotgun, sealing the deal with the offer of a size appropriate bandolier. The dwarf leaves happy, and Ermine slots another black market cred stick into her stash. Welcome back, Zero. How can I help you? How's club life? Life here is good, though this is not the case for Manny and Hoey. For these people, we offer comfort. People like easy solutions, and they will pay good money for them. Guns are only one way. Booze and drugs another. This is why we sell what we sell. My son Callum doesn't understand this. He thinks he would be happier some corporate drone. But I've been there, and I can say for certain that it's just a longer path to where we are now. It all ends with drinking, or sometimes killing. At least we're direct about it. So, how'd you end up selling guns out of here? Back when my husband worked for Wu Jing, we had a little side operation, smuggling weapons right under the corporation's nose. Strictly small time and barely worth the risk, but it brought in little extra money, which we desperately needed. But Henry was never good at brokering the deals. He hated the part of business, or he hated that part of the business. Didn't care to haggle, always leaving money on the table. We fought about it often, and one day he told me to handle it if I cared so much. So I did. As it turned out, I was better at it. Much better. I had worked in the business world before the boys were born. I knew how these things must be done. So I began to make all the deals. I secured the product. I found the buyers. In time, we didn't even need Henry to babysit the shipments. Our influence had grown strong, and now we run everything safely from dry land. What's the problem with Callum? There is no problem, so long as he remembers his place here. There are too many ideas in that boy's head, too much ambition, and ambition like that never leads to a good end. He should be happy with what we have built for him. He's the eldest, and so very smart. One day, he will take control of the club and all its business, but he feels trapped here. He wants to be free. The irony is that his idea of freedom is to work for a corporation. I know from experience there is nothing further from the truth. They don't call you wage slaves without good reason. But here, we have true freedom. We make our own way. I wish he realized this. I try to make him understand, but it only seems to drive him further away. I worry that if I try too hard, I will lose him to his ambitions. Let's see what you have today. Oh, we got some new guns, but I am broke. Oh my. Oh, Browning. The Browning. Oh, 650? I can afford that. What else do we got? We got a Mossberg and a Remington for 1,500. Jesus Christ. We got the Mossberg. 8 rounds. I need some money. I need money. Wow. Oh, we got some of the best freaking. Oh boy. I need money. We got ARs. Dude, this is a good one too right here. 1350 though. 1350. Another sniper rifle. Okay, here we go. We got this. I want this. Or this. Possibly even that. Because this one has... Oh, this one has more damage. This one just has more capacity. Yeah, I'd definitely take a Heckler and Koch. Man, dude, I am broke though. Like...
I ain't broke. Oh wait, she probably has new clothes too. Yeah. Yep. Yep. But I'm broke. I have no money. I am poor. Damn, that sucks. The most immediately noticeable thing about this orc is his immaculately maintained red mohawk and the beard he's busily nursing. He fixes you with a mischievous grin as you approach, touching two fingers to his brow and salutes. Hey there, Chief. What's cracking? Not a whole lot. I'm Zero. Nice to meet you. Illuminati Elabrad, freelance shaman. He wiggles his eyebrows and gives you an exaggeratedly conspiratorial wink. You're kind of freelance, if you know what I mean. The Shadowrunner type. How do you know I'm a Shadowrunner? Are you kidding me? Everybody around here knows about you. I guess they don't get a lot of foreigners who move in and immediately start cozying up to the local Yellow Lotus straw sandal. The rest of us have to show up here and hope somebody needs a hired gun. What kind of shaman are you, Kill? The kind with a shotgun and a penchant for bad luck. He lets out a roaring laugh and slaps a hand against his leg. I kill myself, seriously though. Coyote guides me. What's Coyote like? He's happy-go-lucky, willing to take life as it comes. You gotta ride the waves and the universe will take care of you, you know. Can't fight what's fated to be, but you can bend the rules if you're smart. Coyote likes shamans that are like that. Like me. Like most shamans, I felt his call when I was a teenager. I'd be running with the local gang trying to scrape together enough money not to starve. One day, we were just having a dust-up with the Blackhammers, and I just felt this force. It welled up in me, and the next thing I knew, their knives just bounced off my skin. Things being what they are, I decided making some real money was in order. I ditched the gang and started hiring myself out to whoever offered the most new yen. It's all I've ever done, but I'm good at it. You're not likely to find many better, in fact. Your accent sounds North American. Sure is. Born and raised in Federal Way, Seattle Metroplex. Not as bad as the Redmond Barrens, but still a total hellhole. Kinda miss the big gray Northwest, but I guess being swamped by monsoons here in the FEZ is pretty similar. Less acid in the rain, though. Why'd you leave? Things were getting pretty heavy for me. There was a big blowout with the Universal Brotherhood and a lot of bad magic going on. I decided it'd be better to lay low out here until things calmed down. I think I might be longer than I expected. Or I might be here longer than I expected, though. Cash isn't coming in as fast as I'd like. What do you think of Haley? Frankly, I hate it. The Walled City gives me the creeps, big time. Something is seriously wrong with that place, and I don't mean in that it's a slum kind of way. Watch your step if you have to go in there. What kind of wrong is it then? There's something off with the Walled City's aura. Something in the astral is just sick there, but I can't tell what. It's like all that misery and pain is just building on itself. Every misery empowers all the other miseries there. I'd say you couldn't pay me to go in there, but you probably could. I'm a sucker for a payday. Talk to you later, Illuminati. Keep safe, okay? You know where to find me. Looking to score? I'd like to know a little bit more about you. Me? Why would you want to know about me? I'm nothing. I sling poison to the dregs of Haley. It's not like I ever wanted anything more than this, right? I can see it on your face. You can probably see it all over mine. What good would an education serve someone like me? Why would I ever consider making something of myself? To go places. Sure, I can fill out a suit like nobody's business, but people see a troll in Armani like they see an organ grinder's monkey. No, this is the place for me. This is where I belong.
How many shots does it take to lay out someone your size? I'll let you know if it ever happens.
Henry caught five putters about in the back of the club like a great hulking ghost. Despite his size, he goes largely unnoticed by the club's clientele. It's as if they all have a blind spot in which he is happy to reside.
Why do you insist on chatting like this?
Am I bothering you? I can leave.
No, no, it's just unusual. Most people leave me be. They don't know me, except maybe by name. They certainly don't know what I do here, so they have no cause to speak with me.
Shadowrunners work hard to lead that kind of life.
So you say, of course, a Shadowrunner seeks such a life on purpose. I haven't. But I've gotten used to being the forgotten one in this place. Ermine and Callum are the faces of our business. Freddy is the face of our law, so to speak. I'm no good unless I'm out on the water.
Got any good stories for your days at sea?
Stories. An old sailor always has stories. In my early years, working the fishing boats, I swear, it seemed like every day we caught something on our nets stranger than the day before. Sometimes it was cargo, either lost or thrown overboard by panicking smugglers. Sometimes it was bits of ships wrecked by these super typhoons they say geomancers cause. We'd haul up the occasional body, figure some of them were refugees, either from the mainland after the Civil War or the Philippines after that whole mess. Human trafficking, pirates, lots of bodies in these waters. But more and more we'd pull up bizarre sea creatures, not sure if they were mutants or some kind of awakened critters. The small ones we always threw back as soon as we caught them. If you don't know what something is, best to assume it sprays acid or lays eggs in your brain. The big ones, he shakes his head in disbelief. A lot of times, we had to cut loose the nets. Nets cost a fortune, but when the whole boat shudders and you see 3-meter spines or tentacles or something break the surface, you know it's not worth saving the nets. Those were the good times. Though, simpler times. It got more complicated as I got older, and as the seas got ever more fished out. It's even more complicated now that I'm stuck on dry land. Guess the skills of a sailor don't really translate to club ownership. No, they don't. I want to be a good provider, but I just don't know how to contribute anymore. I think about my own father. He was a fisherman, long before me. For 40 years, he went out early in the morning and returned late at night. He put food on the table in a very literal sense. He did that without complaint, every week until the day he died. That's providing. That's being a good husband and father, as far as I'm concerned. My father wouldn't have lasted a day in this life of mine. The world's just moved on from what he knew and what I knew. I miss those simpler times. I'll leave you be.
All right, let's go follow up with all that dream stuff that was going on earlier, and then we'll probably finish off the episode there. Yo, Zero, welcome back to the palace. You got anything interesting to tell me today? He looks at the heap of wearable computers, PDAs, and chip decks on his nearby workbench. Because I got nothing but fixing hair curlers and debugging old ladies' PDAs. I swear I'm going to die of boredom.
I've got some metadata for you.
Yo, tell me what you got. The network runs on information.
The recent heist at the Emperor's Tomb Museum, the one under construction, had a specific target. Books.
Really?
Indeed. They were some sort of ancient texts. Probably sorcerers and awakened monsters had invaded the tomb.
Whoa, are you serious? That's nuts. Law slaps his thigh for emphasis. Boom! More proof of my theory. The Kong is done. I give it 2 years tops before demons or something eat everybody. Let's see what I got for you. Grab a program. Here's my surplus stack.
I don't need any programs. Have you got some new yen?
I'll bill this as a data expense. Wampo recognizes the intrinsic value of information. Information is money. Boom. It's a pleasure handling meta with you, Zero. Law seems happy. A little meta is like a fresh memory defragment. It makes my whole day better. See you later, Law. You gotta go? Okay, watch your back and shoot straight and all. Law grins at you and dexterously flashes a hand sign that Shadowrunners give each other in holovid shows. I got things to do too. Alright, so we got 200 bucks. That really isn't that much. I need more than that. I need like at least a good like 4 grand, man, right now. That's what I would need right now. Reliable Matthew greets you with an expansive grin, sweeping his smile. Zero, beautiful. To what I owe this unexpected pleasure? Why, you're not here for some robotics, are you? Well, shucks. He rolls his shoulders ostentatiously and sticks his cigarillo casually between his teeth. His eyes have a strained, bloodshot look. I noticed you have a lot of drones in your trailer. Reliable Matthew smiles serenely at you. Drones in the trailer? Oh, I think I have a couple in there. Probably ones I'm fixing. A couple? There must be at least a dozen. Matthew shrugs uncomfortably. Funny thing about drones, when you see a few, they always look like so many more. Weirdest things. Strange little fellas. Let's not talk about maintenance. It's boring. I bet there's something you need today. It looks like someone vandalized your trailer. What? You mean the paint? That's just some neighborhood kids, good kids, having a lark. I nearly fell over laughing when I saw it this morning. What exactly are the drones you sell used for? Just about everything. They're helpers to metahumans in all sorts of useful ways. Drones cook, clean, carry messages, lift heavy loads, tend to delicate tasks. Why, drones can even care for the infirm and provide companionship to children. Matthew taps his temple with his fingertips meaningfully. Think about it. Beautiful. All the boring, dangerous, painful jobs that people used to do, the jobs that drones do now. He glances around at Howie and up at the walled city looming above. Despite his bright eyes and gleaming smile, his voice sounds almost thoughtful. Because of mechanization, we don't force workers to breathe as many chemicals in the refineries. We don't make teenage girls pick silk cocoons out of boiling water. Not anymore. Drones help us. He shakes off his passing air of seriousness, clamps his cigarillo in his teeth, thrusts his hands in his pockets. They're really something else, ain't they? How do people in Hawaii feel about drones? How do people here feel about drones? Why, they love them. Just about every household that can afford drones has drones. You sure you don't want to try out this little UC2 tarantula? It's a great entry level personal assistant. Reliable Matthew smiles widely, but the edges of his mouth twitch uncomfortably. Drones free people to take skilled jobs. They make the economy more efficient, and drones give poor people services they could never afford themselves. Why would someone call you a job stealer? No idea. Drones are job makers. He waggles his cigarillo at you. I know what you're thinking, Zero. I think it myself. Drones take jobs. Well, medicine takes jobs from undertakers, and sewer drones take jobs from people who used to crawl through filth to feed their families. He holds his hand somberly over his heart, and his voice deepens. When you see a drone messenger or maid, it's easy to think that used to be a person. Could be, could be. But that person can do another job now, and they can have a drone themselves. Everyone is better off. Why, Matthew's voice rises. His smile wrinkles painfully around the edges as he carries on enthusiastically. The same people who call drone dealers job stealers often themselves come to me for
Matthew suddenly shuts up. His smile gets even more waxy. Hey, let's not go. Let's not get all wound up about this stuff. It's too cheery day for running off in our heads. Wow, Zero, just smell that brisk spring air. He inhales deeply through his nose, drawing in the fetid reek of the polluted river and the sodden heat of monsoon season. This topic is fascinating, really fascinating. But I've got to get back to work. Shall we walk the lots? Incredible bargains, huh? They fall off the back of the truck. Are you implying that they're stolen? If so, you're mistaken. He smiles indulgently, as if you just said something in an alien language. This merchandise is provided only by trusted suppliers who certify the authenticity and workability of their goods. I don't furnish manufacturer certificates, but all the providers are really top shelf guys, really beautiful people. Otherwise, I wouldn't carry their drones. Where do these trusted suppliers get them? Where do fans, prawns, and soy chips come from? Or Lucy's lovely textiles? Or the electricity for the lights? Reliable Matthew sweeps his arm expansively at the heavens, trailing a steam of blue cigarillo smoke. Where do we get this glorious bluebird sky? Matthew takes a big breath, staring rapturously at the gray clouds. He looks back down at you. His expression goes flat. He shrugs limply and speaks in monotone for a moment. They're smugglers and fences. I don't know where they get their drones. Do these suppliers certify that untraceability of their goods? Absolutely. He proudly taps the As Technology logo emblazoned on the housework model beside him. Most of them are genuine knockoffs. Any IDs are stripped, but most were never registered in the first place. Can I be a supplier if I have a spare drone? Well, it's a very exclusive process. You need to be a member of the community in good standing, have good references, and pass a background check. He smiles widely. His eyes seem to twitch over you nervously. Or if all you have is the drone, I can work with you. Sounds good to me. I don't need drones though. I think I understand the situation. Fantastic. I like to make sure all customers are thoroughly informed and feel completely comfortable with their purchases. Goodbye, Matthew. The three men are once again fixated on their game board. Jin rubs his hands together nervously, his face twisted in concentration. It appears that Shu now has the upper hand. The silence of the game is deafening. Amateur players would be filling the air with clicks and clacks of the stones against the wooden playing board, relentlessly trying to outdo one another. These men are different. Shu picks up a small black stone. His hand reaches over the board, then pauses. Jin stares at the outstretched hand, suddenly still. Shu begins to lower the stone, down, down. Jin is practically on his toes, and then Shu pulls his hand back. Perhaps not there. He strokes his short beard thoughtfully. Jin tosses his arms into the air, nearly knocking over the playing board. Damn it, Shu. When you start a move, you commit to it. I swear, if you're doing this on purpose. Friends, Lao interrupts the players. We have a visitor. The two players look up. Jin sighs and holds his face in one hand, mutters something beneath his breath. Shu's eyes fix on you. He stares, unspeaking. His generous smiles and playfulness from before are absent. Sorry to interrupt. I was just wondering if you're all still having the dreams. This again? Don't you have anything better to do? Yes, we're all still having the dreams. Lao's voice is calm but troubled. However, they've gotten a hell of a lot worse. Jin shifts uncomfortably. Look, let's not go into detail. Anything would be great. He mulls this over. All right, but afterward, you have to let us finish our game. Sure. He nods approvingly, then glances at Lao and Shu before continuing. Our dreams have become, unpleasant, so to say. Darker, violent. He runs his hand along his tightly cropped beard.
Not all that healthy, if you ask me, especially for men of our age. We come out of them in a day sometimes. Feels like we've been punched in the senses. And the imagery. You can see him shiver as he thinks about it. Well, I said no details, so no details. That about summing up Shu, Master Lao? I have nothing more to add. Shu? Shu's eyes bore into you. No, nothing. Is everything alright, Shu? You've been staring at me for a while. Shu continues to stare at you, his face pale. He opens his mouth, closes it. He seems to be struggling to find words. What's wrong with you, Shu? You better not be having a stroke. We're in the middle of a game. If Shu heard Jin, he doesn't show it. He looks at you, and his eyes widen. You need to go faster, his voice urgent, pleading. The shadows that follow you are getting closer. Excuse us, Zero. Our friend is tired. Lao clasps a hand on Shu's shoulder, who doesn't seem to notice. These dreams have taken a toll on all of us. Please come back some other time. Understood. Take care. Yeah, that nigga possessed or something? Like, yeah. Immediately upon entering, you notice the clutter. Somehow, the small magic shop is even messier than before. Stacks and stacks of books occupy chairs, tables, and the tops of Shelves. There seems to be even more than when you first visited. It is as if you just entered a paper factory, and it's spawning season. You peer around a precariously arranged tower of books and find Crafty hungrily reading one of her mother's journals. Red rings her eyes, and tousled hair falls over her face. It looks like she hasn't seen the better part of a pillow in a couple days. She moves to stretch and spots you. With a quick flick of her hand, she marks her place in the journal. What a welcome sight. Have you found anything? Not too much. How about you? A slow smile spreads across her cheeks. She nods. This mind-numbing tedium is starting to pay off. Check this out. The dreams that everyone's having, they aren't really dreams. They're omens. From what I've gathered, we're walking a fine line here. They're pretty dangerous. Attempts to intercept them could lead to mixed results. What do you mean by omens? You know, omens. Harbingers of doom and gloom and bad things to come. Her mouth twists to the side as she thinks. Just a minute. Crafty opens a drawer behind the counter and brings out a dictionary, clears her throat. Omen, a sign that warns of future events by way of visionary creatures or hallucinations. She closes the book with a thump. Why are they happening here? Apparently, those sorts of portents are commonly linked with malign places and disaster sites. They're caused by leakage through wounds between our world and the astral plane. What's causing these wounds? Can we stop it? I'm not sure we can. At least, I haven't found anything about that in my mother's text yet. She lays a hand flat on the countertop and leans forward. We don't want to dive into this haphazardly, Zero. Remember, these omens can be dangerous. How are they dangerous? She holds up a finger and starts digging around for another text. After a moment, she locates a small notepad and flips to a dog-eared page. In here, it says these visions, or dreams, or whatever you want to call them, are real. They're open to interpretation, but interpreting them correctly can be disastrous. Astral space is a place of dream logic. Taking the things you see too literally can be even more dangerous than ignoring them. So whatever we do, interpret or ignore, we're inviting trouble. You've got it. The slim chance we have to dig for some sort of meaning is through interpretation, but it's not easy to interpret a dream, and it's even more difficult to separate the nonsense from the substance. Can you interpret the dreams? Crafty plunks the notepad on top of a nearby book tower. I can help you interpret your dreams, whatever you're trying to impart. It's beyond me. All I can do is keep reading. There has to be something in this library that can help us understand what's happening. We're already making strides. Thanks, Crafty. I do my best. She smiles tiredly, the bags under her eyes exaggerated by the gesture. See you soon. I'll be here. Alright, so we finally have gotten through all of the story stuff. Like I said, this game has a lot of text. A lot. So let's go ahead and start on the well, actually we probably didn't. Let's go check our workstation. You have two unread messages. From kindly chain to zero. Little birds have been whispering in my ear about an urgent and high-paying run. Steel Arm Lou, a red pole, managed to get his hands on information concerning a prototype laser weapon in development by Ares Asia Holdings. For years, the Yellow Lotus and the Red Dragon have been locked in a cold war. Despite this, we remain evenly matched. Neither one of us can attack the other without being exposed to devastating reprisals. Lou wants to change this, and he has a plan. Rather than strike directly, Lou intends to aim external forces at the Red Dragon specifically, Knight Errant. He intends to frame a white paper fan named Golden Fong, making it appear that the Red Dragon have been bribing Ares researchers for classified data. Two leading drone and energy weapon researchers have recently transferred from London to Hong Kong and are running the project. Okay, I gotta use the restroom. I gotta use the restroom. Alright, I'm back. DRS, Taylor, and Hardingham were respected in Europe, but in Hong Kong they remain unknown quantities. They're untrusted, and therefore unconsidered untrustworthy. Perfect targets, in other words. We will provide data that will make it look as if the researchers were contacted by Golden Fong and made quite a bit of money, but grew tired of the arrangement. Transfer the attached files to a data chip. The files are bundled with a worm program which will auto-execute when inserted into the appropriate systems. You need not bring a Decker, though one may be helpful. You will need to plant data in the visitor record system. The camera systems in Hardingham and Taylor's lab. Financial data is to be transferred to Dr. Taylor's personal terminal. That in and of itself will not be enough to ensure knight errant involvement, however. Planting the data is only the first part of your task. This is where a heavier torch will be required. You also need to steal the prototype laser weapon. There's a GPS tracking device attached to it, which Lou will plant deep in Red Dragon territory. The apparent theft of a prototype weapon by a disgruntled Triad member should convince Ares to dispatch overwhelming force against the Red Dragon, dealing them a vicious blow. As a note, Lou does not care what becomes of the laser weapon. If you wish to sell it or keep it, feel free. I also have attached a map of your extraction route from the building. During the facility's expansion in 2052, Ares Asia was forced to extend their foundations deeper into the island. They drove piles through the former site of the central MTR station, which partially collapsed during the Dalu Bay earthquake of 2044. Practically, this means that you can exit through the basement, directly onto the new MTR line through Central. With any luck, you can be gone without anyone knowing how. Unfortunately, this route is heavily alarmed, so you will be forced to go in the front door. If you can con the front desk, you should have no problems. The facility is both an office and a residence, so strange people coming and going at odd hours is not unusual. If you're not up to fast talk, however, be prepared to shoot your way in. Lou does not care if you are loud or quiet, but a word of caution. He came by all this information via the loose lips of one of the research team. Other fixers know of this job. Move fast, and you are guaranteed success. But There are definitely other Shadowrunners with with an eye on your prize. Definitely take the run. Very well. Steel Arm Lou sends his regards and bids you a good fortune and plentiful ammunition. The dramatic jit. Don't die, Zero. Our arrangement has been very profitable so far, and I would hate to lose that. From kindly Chang to Zero, restaurant job. One of the things I've learned over the years is that even the rich and powerful have annoyances, thorns in their side, if you will. No one is without troubles. The rich just have different ways of solving them. The client for this run has grown tired of one particular thorn in his side, Chuang Sing Rooster Lo. Lo is a red pole for one of those smaller triads here in Hong Kong, the 289s, or the Easy Money Gang, if you prefer. Despite the 289's small stature, Lo's illegal activities have managed to damage the client's profits. Mr. Johnson would like you to help him show Lo the error of his ways. Lo takes an evening every few months to dine at the Shangri-La restaurant in Aberdeen. If you aren't aware, the Shangri-La is an elite establishment, serving primarily corporate clientele from Wu Jing Incorporated. Because of this, it's not unusual for diners to bring bodyguards or assistants with them. In Lo's case, he brings a particularly brutish enforcer known as the Talon, and undoubtedly feels well protected. You're going to have to prove just how wrong he is in this regard. You are to kidnap Rooster Lo. So long as he is alive and in relatively good health, all options are on the table. While keeping the run quiet would make things easier for Mr. Johnson, no one will shed too many tears over a few dead triad thugs. The client has arranged an exit via boat. Excuse me. So long as you can get Lo from the interior to the restaurant's dock, the clientele will handle everything else. Despite being a red pole, Lo is a tactician, not a fighter. Don't expect him to put much of a fight. The Talon, on the other hand, is as nasty as they come. Be careful about how you confront him, or things may go very badly. From Kylie Chen to Zero, RE restaurant job. I've let the client know that you've accepted the job. By the time you arrive at the Shangri-La, the boat to get you out will be waiting. Alright. So we got hella jobs. One, two, three, four, 5 jobs. Okay. I've got no gear though. I've got trash gear. Trash gear. That's what I got. Despite the wind and rain pelting Hoey, the proprietor of this stall, a monk, judging by their outfit, is unconcerned. The monk's expression is indifferent, though hardly placid or serene. Muscles show as tightly wound metal bands beneath the skin, ready to snap in any direction without warning. What's more, the monk's robes are anything but ordinary. Certainly, silk makes up the base outfit, but it's paired with high-impact ballistic armor, heavy-duty boots, and a bandolier of throwing knives. The table in front of you is arrayed with a wide variety of melee weapons, charms, jade pendants, and other mystical accoutrements. Beneath an awning in the rear are rows upon rows of cages, each housing some variety of exotic reptile or insect. These, in turn, are flanked by jars and boxes of Chinese herbs, incense, powders, and inks. The monk spares you only the shortest of glances as you approach. I am Monk Shen. Most people in Hoey call me Spider Shen, on account of the spiders back there. It's definitely a statement, not a question. Yeah, what about it? Shen shrugs and swings an open palm across the table in front of you. So you probably have more reason to buy something than my neighbors, and I'm here to sell, so that's good. Swords, knives, clubs, I sell it all. I make most of these, but if I can't, I've got friends who can. If you need incense or salves for meditation, I make and sell those too. And if your joints ache, I can give you acupuncture. Shen places both palms on the table, leaning over it toward you with a wicked grin. So, what can I show you? You're a monk and a weapons dealer. Shen slowly raises an eyebrow, arms folded. Yeah. Where else would the ancient masters have gotten their legendary swords and spears? Down at the mall? I was at Wudong Mountain for 15 years before coming back to Hong Kong. I've been practicing Jing Yi Quan my entire life. That's how I learned the herbs as well as the forms. It just so happened I'm good in a forge too. That's why what you buy here is better than most other people's.
So why become a weapons dealer out here?
I was a runaway, a street orphan in Aberdeen. One day, an old man who called himself Woe offered to take me in, let me make something of myself, as long as I worked hard. Nothing in this life is free, friend, not even Grandfather Woe's help, so I work for him now.
Sounds like he was part of a triad.
Shen's eyes roll at this. Obviously. You think I'm in Kindly's little haven for no reason? She and Grandfather Woe are on good terms. I don't get in her way, I pay a cut to her, and everybody's happy. Even Woe, because I solve problems for him. Shen raises a balled fist, which suddenly bursts into blue flame. After a moment, it gutters and goes out. Remember that. If anyone ever gives you something for free in Heoi, you pay it back with money or blood. But you pay it back regardless.
What's Jingyi Quan?
Shen strikes a sudden pose, body low, one fist against a hip, while the other is extended in an open palm. The five element fist style. Water grows wood, which burns to become life. Fire creates ash and earth, which condenses into metal, etc. The forms cycle the five elements, and opposing elements block each other. A water fist will break a wooden defense, but a water block will extinguish fire. Should one use a water interception, on a metal fist, however, water will be smashed apart. Direct, simple, powerful. Not so elegant as Bai Ji Quan or Tai Chi, but more powerful. Shen pulls a tarp away from a nearby lump. The object beneath the tarp is revealed as the door to an Ares City Master armored personnel carrier. It's been caved inward by a massive amount of force, and in the dead center of the door is an indentation into which Shen's fist would perfectly fit. Power comes from focus, and focus comes from practice and meditation. Jing Yi Quan produces more power than most other forms of Kung Fu, and applies it in a highly focused way.
Wire weapon special.
Because I take greater care with them, and I've studied the ancient texts. Anyone can make an excellent carbide steel blade, but I can make that carbide blade burst into flames. I can make it sing with joy in combat. Anyone can make steel, not anyone can awake its soul. Can I see one of the blades you've awoken? Shen waves a hand at you dismissively. No, of course not. Swords like that have to be custom ordered. Only when someone cancels an order do I have one just laying around. And believe me, they get snatched up quick. I get the picture. Let's talk about something else.
You sell the snakes and spiders too?
Shen shakes a finger at you, eyes narrowed. No, they're mine. I can sell you the things I craft with my hands or the things I can do, but the medicines and poisons that I make are my secret. You want those, you apprentice to me. In 5 years, maybe I show you how to make a poultice, eh?
They're that secret.
Of course they're secret. These are what set me apart from the rest of the street dealers in Hoey. You want cram or bliss, any 2-bit triad punk can make that for you. But I can realign your key, set your yin and yang in balance, or set somebody else's out of balance with a few drops. To master my skills, you need to learn for years. It's not just following a formula. You want to learn, you need patience. You try to learn without patience, all you do ape masters. All you do is ape the masters. Shen snaps 2 fingers and points at the cages. You have to understand them to truly learn my art. Otherwise, you never become a master. Might as well get a skill soft. So let's see what he got. Damn, man, he actually has some dope ass shit. Key casting. Okay,
That's all for now.
Shen is busily counting out cred sticks as you approach. Shen's hands move quickly, fingers deftly sorting them into small plastic bins. The labels on the bin bear names: Steel Arm Lu, Grandfather, Woe, Lucky Ping, and Kindly Cheng. Shen's eyes flicker up at you for a fraction of a second before returning to the task. One moment. I'll be done shortly. A few last flicks of the wrist see the final credit sticks sorted into their respective bin, with the lion's share going to Kindly and Steel Arm Lou. There. Now what can I do for you? You pay a lot of dues to the Yellow Lotus. Shen shrugs, obviously indifferent to the amount the shop's being taxed. I do, but that's how the system works. I pay Kindly for rent, Steel Arm Lou gets money because he's my superior, Lucky Ping receives the finder's fee for goods she sends my way, and Grandfather Woe took me in. He gets paid because he's family, and I owe him for getting me off the streets. You join the organization, you have to pay the dues. It's the same as anywhere else, and it beats the hell out of being homeless in Kowloon. Stuffing the boxes away below the counter, Shen produces a box of assorted needles and inks and begins cataloging them on a battered PDA. You don't mind paying. Not really. Grandfather Woe saved my life by taking me in. Life expectancy for homeless kids in Aberdeen isn't very good. Because of them, I have skills and friends who will pay to make use of them. It's a good life, all things considered. Shen leans back against a stack of cages, causing the snakes within to hiss and snap at the glass. I'm just a blue lantern, a foot soldier. I answer to White Ming, who I study with on Wudong Mountain. He's the 49er, the made man who runs our crew. I don't pay him because he takes his own cut of what we make. That's all for now, Shen. Oh my god, dude. Shen is busily engaged in a conversation with someone on the other end of a video call. The other individual appears to be tremendously handsome elf wearing an immaculate and undoubtedly pricey custom suit. Shen doesn't appear to notice you. I'm just saying, if the customs office gives me any more crap about importing those tiger snakes, I'm going to be up a creek without paddle. The elf nods, tilting his head back with a mischievous grin. Leave it to me. I have some friends in the custom house, and between that and their shoddy record keeping, I'm certain I can get your snakes out of quarantine. It'll take a day, maybe two. If it takes longer than that, it's because someone specifically doesn't like you. At long last, Shen seems to notice you. Hold on, Yang. I'll call you back. Got a customer here. Putting down the comm link, Shen bows. Hello again. What can Spider Shen do for you today? Who's the good looking elf? He's my lawyer, Yang, our lawyer, I should say, since he's another Blue Lantern and is part of the same crew. Shen lifts a thin Chinese sword, turning it over so that the light glitters along the edge. I don't do a lot of things that are legal in the strictest sense. It helps that it helps to have a good lawyer. For most Shadowrunners, getting caught is the end of their career. Well, see? There you go. If you had a good lawyer, that wouldn't be a problem. Shen grins, chin tilted upward. Saves your world of trouble, man. Most of the time, caught means dead for us. Shen is unmoved by this information. Well, then your lawyer can make sure your inheritance goes to the right people, eh? This one time, we had to cause a big fuss and make sure it pointed at the Red Dragon Syndicate. We ran into one of their protection rackets and started causing all kinds of a fuss, breaking windows, setting fires, roughing up patrons. Yang told us to wait and get arrested. Problem was, there was a vice squad that really wanted us caught and thrown in jail. We'd embarrassed them a few times already. Shen chuckles quietly. Turns out he used to be a Decker. He used a Decker contact to make sure to swap a bunch of public recordings so that traffic cameras would conclusively show us somewhere else and arriving at the last minute. He also made sure the vice squad that arrested us was cited for failing to file the proper paperwork on a bunch of previous cases. The squad got canned. We got let go. It was a thing of beauty. Getting some new pets in. Shen frowns dourly. They're not pets. They're an investment. I can make anti-venom serums from them, or I can use the raw venom to accomplish tasks that would otherwise be too messy and loud. Wait, you're an assassin? When I'm paid to be, yes. Most of the time, no. But sometimes Grandfather Woe has a problem that needs a permanent solution. Shen produces a needle from below the boat's table, casually flicking it off to the side. Glancing over, you see that it's embedded halfway into a metal crate. I can solve those problems, and I prefer to have a wide array of tools to work with. It's like this, yes. I can hurt people, but I can also heal them. I learned to heal with my medicine before I learned to hurt. When you learn how the body works, you learn how to break it, as well as fix it. It's like a mechanic in a car engine. If you know how to fix it, you know how to disable it. See you later, Shen. Please don't have any more text. Oh my god, I finished it. Oh god. Woo! Yeah, we're definitely going to start the next mission and then let the game save, and we are going to call it there because I am all talked out right now. Which one, though? Which mission will we do? You know, let's do the Wampoa Garden. Yeah. So we'll definitely take Isobel. We could use a Decker. Duncan. And oh damn, I got a bunch of we got El Duce is here? He's from the first Shadowrun. So we got other people too. Thing is, my team doesn't cost anything, so definitely gonna just use my squad. Should I take Ractor or should I take Gobbet? That's the thing. I'll probably take Ractor. Yeah, I'll probably take Ractor. Confirm. So we'll let the game save here, and then we're gonna call the stream. But this is GamerZero, and I'm signing out. Thanks for whoever came by, and I'll see y'all in the next one. I'll catch y'all later. Deuces.